Okay, if that yellow icon in the corner of my screen is correct, we are live. It is just gone 11:30 on Tuesday, the 30th of October. This is the Global UK Tour live update from Bristol. I'm joined by Lifting the Lid Robin, Harry and Jason on the camper van, and we are here. We are live. How are you guys? Bristol was amazing. I don't even know where to start. Wow. Well done, Bristol.
Yeah, well done, Bristol.
Brilliant. Good day. Good day. Really good day.
A good day. An awesome day. I don't even have a word to encapsulate what today is. We've got people on the hangout staying up well past their bedtime. Robin should be in bed right about now. So massive thank you for staying up a little bit later. On approaching midnight as well. So thank you, my darling. And guys on the camper van, I can't imagine the length of day you must have had. So thank you so much for being here as well. And thank you to all the viewers that are tuning in. But guys, can you encapsulate in a few sentences how you feel today? In no particular order.
Very, very fulfilled. One of the best days of the tour.
Awesome. I'd echo it with a real range of people that are being taught flat earth at school, to people who are being completely triggered. Massive range of reactions, and just a thrill to see people coming to meet us from around surrounding areas, and a thrill to watch Sean blossom and do his 4th day. Loads of good recollections, and I'm so glad my camera just finally caught it, because I went live but it wasn't listed. So thrilled to bits.
Yeah, I think the highlight for me was Sean. Because Sean, when we first met him about 2 or 3 towns ago, was just a bystander watching, came along to support. But now he's got the bug, he's raring to go and get involved, and he did brilliantly today, engaging with so many members of the public. So it's great. For me, it's even better to see somebody gaining confidence and speaking to the public rather than waking somebody up to flat earth. I just get so overjoyed when you see somebody else new coming into it.
Yeah.
It's wonderful to see.
Brilliant. For me, I was pretty impressed with Marilyn, actually. I was being trolled, and then Marilyn spotted this troll a mile off, and she come over and she said, "Are you Mr. Troll? I know you, don't I?" And yeah, so to say that, "Are you Mr. Troll?" and he goes, "Well, I don't think you know me. I'm not Mr. Troll." He didn't get it, of course. Brilliant it was. Well done, Marilyn. She's fantastic.
Love it. Love it. Sorry, I don't want it to come through with an echo. Can everyone hear me?
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, perfect. Perfect. For me, I managed to see some of Harry's feed today. I managed to see some of Jason's. I had to wait for Robin's to get uploaded, and I saw quite a bit of Robin's before I managed to get here now to do this update with you guys. I just want to say, like, the dynamic of conversations you guys have had, the cross-section of conversations you guys have had today has utterly blown me away. I didn't expect the response to be as it was from Bristol. And not only that, I was overwhelmed by seeing the amount of globe deniers that came out almost in force. I felt like there was a bit of a force of globe deniers out there today. I saw some youths that were completely open to the subject, like my daughter is. I was incredibly inspired. It looked like to me in Bristol, the globe live conversation is well on its way to being socially accepted in Bristol. Yeah. Even the 3 girls that one of you was talking to, one of them had a black puffer jacket on. Even though it was not a subject that they were, acceptant of, they had incredibly civilized questions to have. And isn't that what we're trying to do? Have a civilized conversation. If we can't have a civilized conversation about this, then it's not accepted yet. And I just was overwhelmed by the amount of acceptance of the conversation itself.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
Some nice, friendly, warm couples. I think I had 2 couples on my stream. There was one on, I think, on Harry's stream as well. Just really relaxed people who obviously had a conversation with friends, family, and other people, but to see them just continue that in a nice, non-confrontational way, like it's okay to chat like this. I thought it was awesome. And interestingly, I had 2 pilots on my stream as well. One who was open and wasn't going to torpedo everything I said, followed by one who was just going to deny it. And actually, when you listen back to what he said, it's ridiculous, but he's still happy to deny it and walk off. So fascinating to see. It really is.
Yeah. I had we haven't got it on film tonight. I had a military guy who was talking about. He was only talking about firing weapons 27 miles, that they do not use the curvature. They do not take it into account. It was a fascinating conversation about this, this military guy and all this war experience and things. And yeah, it needs to be listened to. It's a great conversation. We haven't put it in tonight, but it was fantastic. What an enlightened military guy he was.
Incredibly refreshing when you hear things like that, isn't it?
Yeah.
What about you, Harry? What do you reckon the highlight of your day was today?
Just what I mentioned, just seeing Sean become more confident. That's always my highlight, because apart from Robin and Jason, we were going to do good baptism. We're hoping that has a knock-on effect. And as Robin started up his own group in Bristol, which I was so happy to see, and Jason going from I couldn't possibly do this to being as good as anybody out there on the street. That fills me greatly, even more than seeing a flat earther wake up. But also the other people came out today and supported us. That was fantastic. And there was just such a variety of different people, as Robin said, different reactions. And Lisa said on the left. Lisa was Lisa was the
Lisa, thank you so much.
She was the first person to come out on the bus with Marilyn. They were the first on the tour bus. And here they are, very close to the edge, coming out again, and she will be there for the Glastonbury one. So
brilliant,
great support from organic activists out on the street, all coming together to support us. So yeah, that's where I get my kick from most.
It's amazing. It's amazing. It is, to me, amazing how much wave awareness that has been this tour. As we approach the end of the weeks, it really is starting to resonate with me how much of a mass started. There's a lot of people that have gone home and opened this conversation because of what's happened in their local town centre, or what they've read in their local news. There's no getting away from that now. And I think, the fact that people have come out, like the likes of Geraldine, like the likes of Lisa coming out a couple of times, John Thor's been out a couple of times, you've got Terry, Mark, Chris UK, Jason, everyone that's taken the time, Robin, everybody, the list actually is becoming...
Yeah, and spending more money and taking time away from their work to actually support the tours has been absolutely amazing.
Yeah, it is. It's to me, it's utterly overwhelming in the fact that it's gone far beyond what I could ever have imagined it to be.
Me too.
Even setting it up on a level and saying, right, that's the best it could possibly be as far as I'm concerned. It's gone past that a long time. In fact, it went past that as soon as you got to Dublin.
Yeah,
that's when I went, okay, all right, this is happening. It literally took that long for it to sink in and me go, this is actually happening. People are coming out in Dublin. Like, this is a lot. I keep saying it and I'll carry on keep saying it. They can't censor the streets. They can't. There's been a couple of things recently that have happened with me where I've looked at some numbers and I've gone, yeah, that doesn't make any sense. So I look at your view count, Carrie, and I look at your view count, Jason, and I look at the emails that I'm inundated with about this tour, the emails that I can't keep up with, the hundreds of emails that are in my junk because I've never received an email from that person before. I actually don't know how to find the time to respond to people. Yeah. Like I've got more emails than you have view counts. Go figure.
Well, can I add one more thing as well?
Yeah, go for it, Jason.
Let me add one more thing. GlobeLi, if you try to get on globeli.co.uk today, you wouldn't have been able to. We ran out of bandwidth for it, and it got closed down. And I had to up the bandwidth for it so that people could view it again. So we had so much traffic that hit globeli.co.uk today. For some reason, I don't know why. Maybe someone trolled us or what. I don't know, but we had an awful lot of traffic there on that site.
I've also had David Gessner from Flat Earth 101 inform me that the traffic on his website's gone way up, way up, like
yeah.
And you know, just looking from the emails alone, and then I look at some of the bigger names that are on Instagram. Okay, they're in mainstream entertainment, but they're still posting controversial posts with regards to what they're supposed to be dealing with narrative-wise. And a couple of posts that have gone viral by, you know, some mainstream entertainment, you know, telling people to stop believing in NASA has got, you know, 2.5 million likes. And then the post has been removed by Instagram, or the artist has been told by their management company to take it down. But then there's kids like my daughter who'll take screenshots of the original post with the original set of likes on it. And then, you know, teenagers like my daughter will show me and go, Mum, look how 2.5 million people agreed with that. 2.5 million people to stop believing NASA. 2.5 million people. And they reckon not a lot of people are looking into this. I know YouTube's playing havoc with censoring things. And I've now become so disillusioned with the numbers on YouTube. I'm not buying into it anymore. I'm not buying into any of the numbers. I'm salt. Even the higher rated channels, I even think they're censoring them on a major level. It's almost like everyone who, you know, anyone who knows someone knows about this. And I was only saying it would be great if that could get to that point. And now we're approaching the end of the year. I do remember you saying earlier on in the year, Harry, about next year, and you went, yeah, well, that's if everyone doesn't know by then. I do remember about 6 months you saying that, Harry. About 6 months ago, you said, well, everyone might know by then. And I went, nah, that's a bit of a reach. End of this year, relax. But now I'm starting to think, with everything that's going on in America as well, people like Brandon Daly, people like Nathan Roberts, Nathan Thompson, these people are spreading mass awareness, like crazy amounts of awareness internationally. So when you look at the conversation that's happening now, it's not such an aloof conversation anymore, I don't think. I think we're going to approach the rest of the end of this year with, if you don't know about it, you know someone who knows about it.
Absolutely, yeah.
Agreed.
You guys had quite a few people come out and join you today. The lovely Lisa, who sat there with you now, Lady Marilyn Wisby, who came out today in that white coat of hers. She managed to get a seat, Lady Marilyn. She did that at Speaker's Corner as well.
Yeah, that's right.
I remember that. I met her when she was wearing a flowery dress, and she was sat there like Lady Marilyn does. And I was like, well, she was literally red pilling people from the chair. And I was like, listen, she's putting new levels on this whole red pilling thing. She gets comfortable and starts dealing with it. I love it. You had Kane, Sheena, Sally and Jason, and they said hi in person, I think. And a lady or someone came up and gave a £20 donation, anonymous person.
It was £10. It was quite strange. She came up. She says, "Oh, we watch you, and she threw £10 in my hand, and thank you very much, Mrs. Anonymous. Thank you very, very much."
Wow.
Yeah, and Jason came to meet us, a flat earther, a great guy. He just came especially to say hello and to support the tour. So that was a great meeting him.
Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. I want to let everybody know about the end of tour finale event that's happening on Saturday as well. I've got a few bits of information that I'm going to give you about that, and I'm going to show you a promo video for it, which will give you some more information on it as well. You're all invited. This is the People's Tour, the GlobeLi UK tour. It's spreading awareness so that this subject becomes socially accepted, for one. so that we can start to evoke some kind of change. Number 2. So we would love to see anyone that can make it down to London. We encourage anybody that can get there. Please do. If you know you're not on a ball, come on. The event will be at Villiers High School in London. That's on Boyd Avenue in Southall. The postcode for that is UB for Bravo 1, 3B for Bravo, T for Tango. For people that are travelling by train, the nearest station is Southall Station. That station itself is a short walk from the school. If you head north out of the station, which is taking a right out of the station, you just turn right at the lights to Park Avenue, then turn left onto Villiers Road, and then do a right onto Boyd Avenue, and boom, you're there. There's ample parking facilities for people that are driving. If you're coming on local transport, via bus, the 207 and 427 will bring you from Ealing or Uxbridge. The 105 or the E5 will bring you from Cranford or the Havelock estate. The 120 or 195, 482 and the 832, they will bring you from Hayes, Heston or Cranford. The 95, 105, 195 and the E5 from the other direction from Ealing Hospital and Greenford. And again, from the opposite direction, the 120, the 482 and the H32 will bring you from North Holt. If you're driving, as you approach London, if you're travelling from the north via the M25, if you just exit at junction 15 and join the A312 north, that will bring you into Uxbridge. If you're travelling from the south or west via the M25, just exit at junction 16, join the M40 eastwards, and that will become the A40, and that will bring you into Uxbridge. And if you're travelling from central London, from the east part of London, just head for and join the A40 towards the A4020. So yeah, Jason, I see you.
This will be a travel service announcement.
Yeah.
Well done, Roxanne. Well done. Very good.
That was me trying to be helpful.
No,
that was me.
Extremely helpful.
Sorry if I came across like a national rel. And on platform 2, your train will be tomorrow. Yeah, so that's some details as well, and all of those details, I've put those in the description for you, along with everything else you could possibly want to know in the chat box. Any question you have will more or less be able to be answered in the description box, and that's if one of the mods isn't already able to. I just saw John Thor's laughing faces in the chat room.
I know, just seen that. Well done, John.
Do not get me started today. You had me in stitch before I went live yesterday, and I more or less couldn't hold it down when I went live. So massive love to all the mods in the chat room and John Thor. In fact, while I'm on the subject of the chat room, let me go there, because I want to thank everybody for taking the time to tune in to us this evening. I'll just give you a forewarning from now. These guys, if any of them are still standing by the time we finish this hangout tonight, I'll fully rate them. Robin is in the doghouse already because he's still even here. I don't even know how he's managing that without waking his house up. And so if they're still standing at the end, that would be a miracle. It's going to be a long hangout. I've got a lot of clips to play you. Massive thanks to John Thor for tuning in. DRLA, hello, my darling. Thanks for tuning in. Jean CBR1, thanks for tuning in. Drew Inner Earth, thanks for tuning in. National Memorial Gardens, thanks for tuning in. Ruben, everybody equals mind control squared. Thanks for tuning in, my darling. And let's just go up. We go here. Jay Rocha, thanks for tuning in, my darling. Richard Lopez, thanks for tuning in, sweetheart. Lou, thanks for tuning in, and thank you so much for your email. Massively appreciated. Voyage Horizonte, thanks for tuning in. Black Plain, Oregon, thanks for being here with us, darling. Tapper 777, thank you for tuning in. And my chat room just went crazy, so now I don't know where I am. Zach as well, thanks for tuning in. I'm just going up there. And I'm hoping, listen, if I've missed anyone out, Sean Wilkins, a top day, he says in the chat room. A top day.
Fantastic, man.
Sean Wilkins, massive love to you, my darling. The Brain, thanks for tuning in as well. And my phone's on a mad one. Miss A, thanks for tuning in, my darling. David West, hello, my darling. Thanks for tuning in. And to everyone else that's coming into the chat room as and when they're coming in, Appreciate you all being here. The next thing I'm going to do, guys, is I'm going to get on with some clips. I'm going to play Jason's set of clips first. Is there anything anyone wants to say before we go into some clip playing?
Yeah, I've got
oh yes.
There was,
yeah.
Why don't you mention how many viewers that last chap had, Jason?
Oh yeah, yeah. I was speaking to what's it, that Somalian chap, and we did that. I managed
you on his social media, right?
Yeah, I managed to do a small interview with him for his channel, his Facebook channel, and yeah, that went live out to 17,000 of his subscribers there, his followers, and yeah, so we'll see where that went. And that was in a different language as well. So if anyone knows what language that was, it was meant to be Somalian, but you need to double check that and make sure that what he was saying was okay. But yeah, I've got good vibes from him. I got.
That's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. You couldn't make that one up, could you? Someone coming along to the banners and then going, "We've got a massive following on social media. Let's just have this out here now."
Yeah.
Awesome. Well done for reminding us about that, Robin. I remember seeing that and thinking, is this what is going on here? Awesome. It's things like that happen when you go out in person. When you come out from behind the internet and you take it out onto the streets, it's uncensored. That lovely lady that had the short hairdo, she says, "Listen, I don't completely agree with you, but I love the fact that you're out here doing this. Thanks so much for doing this." And that, again, I was like, would YouTube have let her see any of Harry's videos? Would any of Harry's videos come up on her? No, because you out into the streets, you came across her peripheral, and therefore she saw you and was able to give you a response, which we're not able to get on YouTube because it's uncensored. It's insane. Love it. All right. With that being said, I will go over to the clips if that's all right with everyone. Are we good with that? Yeah. Can anyone hear me?
Yep. Good.
Yeah, all good.
Awesome. Lovely jubbly. Okay. Just bear with me a second. Okay, hopefully you'll be able to see what I can see. And that should be Jason's video. So with a bit of luck, I'm gonna press play. So this is the first clip from Jason's live today, and I'm gonna click away and enjoy. Oh no, one sec. No one's gonna be able to hear it unless I do that. Okay, now you'll be able to hear it.
We used to believe that we were on the globe. We're nowhere. What's your name? Sheena. It was lovely to meet you, Sheena. So how long have you known? Okay. Right, because it's a hard journey as well, isn't it? Like I'm full of complications and really, is this real? Am I going crazy? Yeah. Yes. Well done, Marilyn. You caught onto that right away. Well done. So Marilyn caught on a troll. Yeah. That's right. Well, I mean, like, can we not have just a calm discussion? And and you're right. People do get triggered and angry, and have you spoken to many other flat earthers and that? Okay. Oh, so do you know Robin then? Ah, there you go. Yeah, so he's awesome. He is. He's doing well today. All right, so you knew it was all going to be here. Well, we get people just turning up. They're just walking through, doing the shop, and they go, "Oh my God, what is this?" So you haven't been nice. You met some other people. Yeah. Oh, thank God for that. Apparently we're doing better than the Jehovah's Witnesses. Brilliant.
And if you want to see the rest of that interaction from Jason's, go ahead and watch his Global Eye UK Tour Bristol feed from today. This second clip that's coming up is 1:23 into Jason's feed today. So I'm going to click this and enjoy.
All right. Are you one of us, are you? All right. And your name is Kane? Kane. All right. Nice meeting you, Kane. Jason? Yeah, yeah. You live in Bristol?
No,
North of Glasgow. So you knew we were going to be here? Well done. Right. Oh, right. You're together. Gotcha. I didn't realise that you're a family. Yeah, I've been speaking to Sheena. Yeah, I've been speaking to her. Yeah, she seems lovely. Brilliant. So, thank you very much. So, I mean, like, you kind of all woke up together about all of this? Yeah, I knew you on camera. Yeah, good. Yeah.
4 years ago.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because COVID is really difficult. I mean, don't go there.
Yeah.
But there's the bike there.
All right. Yeah, I need to. I will sit down over Christmas. I'm going to do that. I have to. It is very important. Everyone's telling me.
And so I read through cheated audio.
Okay.
And to the end. Oh no, actually, I'm ready for it. I'm going to do this. Coming to the end. Is that the Sango Man yet?
Right. Okay.
So now Jesus said, you know, it's actually 3 times.
Yeah.
And it's obviously from the early Christian day.
Yeah.
So it can't be the original. It must be, brutal.
Yeah.
We all know the earth is upset.
Right.
And so I put that, and then I put let's say I googled, maybe that night I googled in black and I got a picture.
Right. Jason.
It was so shocking, so diametrically opposed.
Yeah.
I disclosed.
Yeah. Same with me when I did 200 proofs. Just shut it down after half hour, closed it. Ridiculous. Yeah. That's amazing. And so you've obviously both shared it together. You talked about it together. Yeah. Were they in shock over it that mum and dad's gone crazy?
No.
Were they okay? Open?
They're very good kids. As soon as we told them.
Wow.
And the thing is, where I live, near Dursley, you could see Sugarloaf Manfield.
Yeah.
And I know 45 miles. So
wow.
Well, I haven't missed it.
Yeah. Oh, you knew there was something wrong then.
People talk about 45 miles.
Yeah.
And I could see the same thing.
Yeah.
I already knew anyway.
That's right. I think once people kind of are happy with that.
And if you want to see more of that, check out Jason's full length live from today. So the second I've got for you, sorry, the third clip I've got for you guys today is at 2 hours and 18 minutes. That was really nice hearing what Kane had to say there, guys. I was enjoying that. I got a bit carried away with the clip. I was going to play everyone the whole clip, as if I haven't got enough clips to play already. Massive love to you, Kane, and your family for coming out today. This next clip is of this girl that I'm going to play just now, so enjoy.
You want to probably put that? Of course you can. Okay. You need to take someone to court. We need to grab someone, take him to court, and then ask him. We need to ask them. I agree. We've not. No, there's no one been held accountable. We don't know why. I can give you a few theories. That's about the best we can do. I think those would be my theories. More land. Possibility of more land across from Antarctica. That seems like the big one. Right, okay, but there's a treaty in place that prevents people. So you've done that. Are you okay on camera and that? Okay. So, okay. So yeah, because, did you do the Admiral E. Byrd thing?
No.
Okay, check out Admiral eBay. Or in fact, on my leaflet, there's there's a couple of videos. There's a website to go to, FE Start, and there's it's called, I think it's called Bird something and all that. But there's a video on there, Admiral eBird, and he explains in a TV interview that when he got to the South Pole, he came across more land bigger than America itself, with more mining and mineral opportunities and things like that. And he took 4,000 troops down there. He's a big hero of America. It was back in the 40s, and then in the 50s, early 50s, and then a little bit later on, the Antarctic Treaty was set up to stop everybody from going there. You know, so it's all very suspect in that. So that could be the biggest why. But I've not been, so it'd be a theory. You know, so that's the biggest thing. So you've been researching some of this, have you?
Yeah. Because it's like an art project, but I just love it.
Yeah.
I don't know what I do. I'm open to
excellent. Because you're not meant to just submit. You're meant to question things. For me, this is one of my biggest proofs. You've heard of the 8 inches per square mile curvature drop. Okay. When I start seeing land like that one on the Blackpool to Isle of Man, 65 miles away, it should be 2,500 feet over the curvature. 2,000 feet is the highest mountain. You can see it. Still see it. Highlighted over. 300 feet should be missing, but we can see it. Shouldn't be seeing it. 273 miles. There's land there. Shouldn't be able to see. That's with the elevation all taken into consideration. There's a guy called Jay Tolan. I'm happy that he's got footage of 600 miles away. 600 miles away, that's a hell of a curvature drop, but you can still see land. I only seen last night, he's got other footage of 1,000 miles away and 1,200 miles away. You know, a little bit more debatable, but you know, what he's seeing. But that's intriguing. If he's seeing this land with an infrared camera, then I want to know why he's seeing this land. There's something not right there. You know, so when you start doing the research of, you know, like NASA, our photographs, why it is that we see, and if you've done that, Apollo, where are we? Apollo landings, where are you? You okay? Did they?
I don't know. Like,
are you on the fence with Apollo?
Not sure.
Not sure.
I don't know. I feel like there's not enough strong evidence for the landing, but not enough strong evidence for it being fake.
Right. Okay. I mean, the lack of the blast crater, that's a big one. The waving flag, okay, they've explained that it could have been on some sort of spring and all that, but it happens to on all the Apollo landings. There's divergence of different shadows from different directions. There's noise being heard, you know, when he throws a cable and it hits the limb and it goes annoying, you know, like there's lots of things, you know, like that don't make sense, you know, like about that. The very fact, I don't know if you've ever seen the interview of before they went up for the first time and when they come back. Well, when they go up, this is Neil Armstrong, Collins and Buzz Aldrin. Before they go up, they're really happy and can't wait. Oh, we're really excited. They're being filmed and they can't wait. They're waving and laughing and smiling and everything. Anyway, when they come back, you watch them in their first interview. You would swear blind that their families have just been murdered. They're distraught. They're just the anguish that is coming from them. Something has gone terribly wrong, and it almost comes across as though they've been told to shut up and just answer these kind of like canned questions. It looks very odd, which it shouldn't. You can imagine they've just done the greatest thing of mankind. They should have come back in that interview and said, "This was amazing," you know. And this evidence, this doesn't exist. You know, like that evidence. I mean, like that on the moon. Of all the people that went to the moon, that doesn't exist. Why? That's just nonsense. So when we start questioning NASA, and then we have to question the photographs that we've been presented from Earth. And you said you're an art student. On the photographer side, do you know about noise? You can see noise in that. When you analyse these photographs, you get what's called noise, and you can tell whether it's been fake or not because you can see artificial noise added, and you can see the proper noise and that. And then when you examine all this, you can see that a lot of the photographs of anything to do with space, it has this artificial noise that's been added. It's like nearly every photograph that you've seen has been edited in some weird way. So yeah, that's why we're here. We're spreading awareness for people to, and we're just getting people to watch some videos. There's I say FE Start, Global.
And if you want to see the rest where that went, check out Jason's feed. And this feed was 4 hours long. Jason, that is a massive amount of feed that you put out today, but Bristol was worth it. Bristol did amazing. I was so proud of how Bristol was in general. It was
yeah, for
glued.
Feed, and the video quality was really good where we were today. Fantastic it was.
Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And having had days where it's been incredibly difficult to get a decent feed, I can't tell you how much of a breath of fresh air it was to see decent feeds coming out today. It was just, it was like oxygen. It was like oxygen.
Yeah.
I had my TV on streaming Harry's and my laptop on streaming yours. And I had one eye looking at one and one eye looking at the other. I was trying to absorb two conversations at the same time. I didn't want to miss anything.
Yeah. I get that. I definitely get that.
I wasn't the only one. I wasn't the only one. There was other people in the chat room that were telling me they were trying to watch multiple feeds as well.
Yeah, I think you can watch multiple feeds. You just can't listen to multiple feeds.
Correct. So this is the guy you were telling us about, right? The guy that was
He was fantastic. We had a normal chat first, just normal. I just thought that we were having a normal kind of like a flat earth awakening, and then find out that he is a flat earther, and he's got this group of people that follow his. Before, I mean, like for the clip that you're about to see, if people can go back in and check this clip out, but just go back a few bit as well, a few minutes as well, because he actually shows his credentials, and he does all these big meetings and things. And, he's actually quite, yeah, he's a credible guy, you know, like he's or I forget what sort of meetings he was saying he was doing and that, and he showed me all pictures of him in meetings, and you know, I mean, when I say meetings, big meetings, you know, big important meetings, it looked like. And he's a flat earther, and you know, and I kind of worried for him, you know, like, because anyone who comes out, you know, like who is a flat earther and have got important things to say, and you know, like an important job and all that, they've got a potential of kind of you can actually lose your job in a lot of situations. So you know, like big respect for these guys who take the risk and want to tell the truth. Big respect.
Yeah, I fully agree with that, Jason. I'm just looking at the chat room. John Thor says Bristol is now flat.
It certainly is. Well done, John.
It really came across like that to us today when we were watching. It was like, okay, Bristol's woke. Bristol's got some woke in it. And there's to a civilized conversation happening at least.
I thought it was a little bit like when I watched Harry do Newcastle. Now, I couldn't be there, but when I watched Newcastle, it was like when I was watching it, it almost come across like, can Harry not find a global believer? What's going on? Why is he all these flat earthers?
You're right. It was a bit like that. It was. So if it's all right with you, Jason, we're going to fire away and click this play button and play this clip. Is that all right?
That sounds good.
Cool.
Let me see what it goes. And it's goes like, what it goes like. Yes, magacaygu waxa weeye wasiirka Saleeyo waxaan hayay qof iyo falsafada waxaan maanta halkan anigoo maraya ku arkay qolooyin baarayaal marideetiisa waxay sheegayaan in ay dhulku in dadka been loo sheegay oo dhulku yahay been ballaaran oo falaah ah imika waxaan doonaya inaan su'aal ka weydiiyo arrimaha noocaasa ee ay mataqaanaa ay halka ku soo bandhigeen waa barnaamijka loo ilaa maanta si doona let me speak Jason, I just passed earlier on. Go to the car park at my home, get it there. What evidence do you have that this earth is a flat?
Is it flat? Okay.
Or like you said, you believe in it?
Well, yeah. That's very easy for me. I look at spherical trigonometry by Pythagorean theorem, and once I worked out that this mathematical formula based on 24,000 miles, 24,900 miles circumference, this mathematical formula says there should be 8-inch observable drop for every mile, and squared. Okay, so it goes 8 inches, 32 inches, 72 inches, and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. Okay, This here, it was in the Blackpool Gazette. This is 65 miles on the promenade. Yeah. Okay, and you can see the Isle of Man. Okay, and you're not meant to see this. This is meant to be over the curvature of the Earth. 2,584 feet should be hidden. The highest mountain is 2,000 feet, but you can see it. It's there. You can see it. This is Calais to Dover. 24 miles and 300 feet should be missing.
So that's from France to Dover. The coastal areas there.
The highest peak is 350 feet. So you should only see a few peaks.
Yeah.
But you can see it all. The White Cliffs to Dover. You can see it all from Calais, and you're not meant to.
Yeah.
This is one of the longest distance photographs, 273 miles, and you can see all of this land. But you're not meant to. It should be miles over the curvature of the Earth. Miles.
And that cover the whole.
That's right.
The background of it.
So when I did all this, when I come across this, I had to verify this for myself. I had to do my own research. Okay, so I went down to my local beach, Brixham. I stood on the beach. I got my powerful camera out. I looked 15 miles across the bay.
Yep.
And I could see people on the other beach. You're not meant to. It's meant to be 40 feet below the curvature. But I did my own scientific experiment. I stood there on the beach and I can see people on the other beach. That's not meant to be possible.
No.
So this is my proof.
You have me now. Actually, just gonna explain to us.
Okay, this one here. This is Robert Sims. He's a data visualizer. Okay, he takes aerographical photographs from the Earth, and they're called composites. He stitches them all together. They glue them all together, put them around a 3D blank sphere, and then what you get from there, he adds clouds and that, and then this is what you get. This is the blue marble. This is Earth. He works for NASA. Robert Simmons. This is him in National Geographic magazine. And there's teams of people like him. I would assume, I don't know that for a fact, but there'd be teams like him that work for NASA, and they provide you your photographs from space that we've never seen. These are photographs from space. Which one would be real, I say?
And as far as you can see, we have got here four of them, for these pictures. None of them match the other one.
No.
They're all different.
And if I
like imagine,
that's right. Well, if I bring you over to this one here, you can download this from NASA's website. Okay. This is the 2012 photograph, and that's the 2013. 1 year apart. It's the same size circumference, same size circle, radius. I mean, same size circle. And can we see a problem there with North America? It shrunk.
It is, yeah, absolutely, yeah. You can see that's in a matter of a year, within a year.
Yes, 1 year.
It changed there.
So if our photographs from space need to be discounted, and look, my other second proof is I do not believe that we landed on the moon. That's it. That's it. Observe. That is nonsense.
That is exactly what I believe as well at the same time. Because just before I even went to school, I was taught a madrasa, and that the earth is flat, this is bread, and weighted and balanced by the mountains. So like when I went to school, I mean, schooling is the only place where people can be changed, where it's been designed to change the thoughts of the man.
Yes.
So since that time we've been told that the shape of the earth is like an egg shape.
An oblate sphere.
Yeah. And then we don't follow it, do we?
No.
And it doesn't say, as you said, mentioned. Now, here it says like that was being lied to 2,200. Sorry, Earth is not, and it's being born.
By Eric Debay. It's a great video to watch. Have you heard of that one yourself?
No, I haven't done it.
Really? Okay. So you guys, there is a website there called FE Start, and you'll be able to see all of these videos on FE Start.
And if you want to see the rest of that interaction with Jason and that guy, please go ahead and look at the Globelight UK Tour Bristol feed from Jason today. That just about summarizes your clips, Jason. How do you feel all of your actions went today in their entirety?
I actually had a fantastic day. I mean, there was many more clips I could show, and I'd rather people just hunt them down for themselves, you know, like. But this guy here, although my video is all over the place, because when I'm trying to what's it, talk, film, point to information on the banners and that. My film work is terrible, it is. But we had the amazing Sean. He was using the Somalian guy's camera phone, and he was doing the filming for his channel, which was all nice and kept all level and straight. It was just my film work is appalling. It is, and it is what it is. I'm trying to reach out to the guy and not worry about being a filmmaker.
Aww. See, my like's been taken off again. I've just had to like this video. Do you know how many times I've liked this video today since it's been posted, since you guys finished your activism? I just want to mention that because it's just happened right there and then. I don't know if it's happening to anyone else, but when I'm clicking like on you lot's videos, I'm having to go back again and re-like the video countless times. Like countless times. I can't count how many times I've had to like yours and Harry's videos from today as well. Yeah. While you were live, I multiplied it, and it just keeps going again. Like I could go back in a couple of hours, and I guarantee you that like will have gone. Yeah. And I've saved it to both of my playlists, and I guarantee you it's not there. See, I've done this already. Long. Oh, there you go. There you see it for yourselves. Censorship in its full force. Sorry, Jason. Carry on, darling.
That's okay. No. Just YouTube messing about. They said that they're going to mess about with us now. They've admitted to it. They're going to be censoring us and leading any information off to the correct political videos. And, yeah, we've just got to think outside the box and maybe retag them in a different format.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. At least they can't stand to the streets for now, so we're spreading awareness that way, if nothing else.
Yeah.
Guys, if you're all right, I'm going to play Robin's clips next because they're the next clips that I've got on my paperwork. I'm going to start at Robin's. Robin, as you can see, his first one is almost 3 hours long. Now, his one didn't upload at the right time, so we had to watch this at a later stage. I'd urge everybody to get over there. It's only had 69 views, and when you consider the magnitude of what was going on the streets out there today, that should have way more views than that. So please go over to Lifting the Lids channel. I think I've got more than 10 links in the description for this video that we're doing just now. You'll find Robin's channel in there as well. So I'm going to start this clip off at, would be nice if I lined it up, wouldn't it? Good girl, Roxanne. Thought I already did that. I'm going to start this one at 3 minutes and 23 seconds. Just a few minutes of this. And yeah, I would say sit back, relax, and enjoy this awesome interaction that Rob, this guy, absolutely brilliant. Check it out.
Up at 100,000 feet on a high altitude balloon, you can see the sun is small and local. Otherwise, how does it make that little sunspot 93 million miles away? And then look, we've got crepuscular rays. That's, you follow the angles of these lines, and the sun is near. It's not 93 million miles away. And then we have these shots. These are all lies from NASA. They tell us they're the blue marble globe pictures. But this guy here, Robert
Which is the real one?
None of them are real because this is a NASA employee. He says, I use Photoshop because I have to. In other words, he's getting them from high altitude balloons.
So have you got a picture of what it should look like?
Yeah, well, if you look at this, yes, and then remember the card I just gave you has the UN map on it.
Yeah.
That's a flat Earth map. Look, matches. Isn't that incredible? It's incredible, isn't it? So, well, the thing is, we're programmed from 5 to think. First of all, here's Santa Claus. Here's the Tooth Fairy. But then they also give us a globe in the classrooms. And then the Disney takes over, Universal Pictures, BBC. They give us a globe all day long, don't they?
See, I was lucky. I was brought up. How can I explain it? I was brought up to, you would tell me, Tony, as a child, don't touch that, was burn me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would shout things. I was always allowed to write expression, not to turn around and say follow this religion or follow that. You find your own way. If it suits you, it suits you.
Yeah.
I've had a choice on what way I want to
What
go.
a fantastic parents.
I've never been able, no, it wasn't mine. I was in care. I was lucky.
You were lucky to be
lucky.
given the chance to
I
think
was
for yourself.
lucky. No tunnel vision, and now I bring up all my children, my great grandchildren. I tell them, keep the television out. Don't let family cartoon comes on.
There's a reason that it's 60 or 70 hertz, isn't it? Because it puts you in a trance, and then you're open to subliminals, aren't you?
Yeah.
So
Don't drink water, keep the third eye clear.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely brilliant.
Don't drink water. Don't drink normal tap water. Don't drink mineral water. Spring water only, and keep the third eye clear.
Fantastic. Pleasure to
You
meet
take
you.
care, sir.
All the best.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Very good conversation. How do I flip it round?
So you got that one there.
Okay.
Excellent.
What an awesome. Right.
And I was lifting the lid.
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to make sure that I get people
Okay.
to go and get on your screen.
Thank you.
As well.
I'll get some leaflets. We're doing a social experiment. Can I give you some information?
Not really, no.
Have you? Can I ask you just a simple question? And please don't feel patronised or insulted by it.
Okay.
If I was to say we were told the Earth was round by our scientists and then NASA,
Not round.
what would you say it was? And
Same
what
as the lip side.
and what would be your number one proof?
The massive amount of evidence from Galileo into you don't
Okay.
go through everything. Galileo.
Can we start with a treat me like a 5-year-old? I'm your son, and what would you say to me to prove that I live on a globe?
I would say observation and experimentation.
So I'm a 5-year-old. I'm a 5-year-old. So which?
We're going to space and we see.
Yeah, we see.
We also look at other bodies in space.
Okay.
They're also not round,
So
rounded.
is there any possibility that we're unique though, and that we don't have to be a sphere just because we see round objects in the sky?
You mean
Could
like,
we-
like
could-
a plate?
Yes. Could it be that we're not spherical?
Well, we've flown around the moon, for instance.
We've gone round the Earth.
Do you know? Do you know? Can you remember the footage on the TV when Neil Armstrong landed on the moon? Can you remember Nixon made a phone call on the landline to speak to them?
I do vaguely remember him speaking.
So what does that make you think?
All it was a telephone receiver that went into Jodrell Bank as well. So
Okay. So do you know about the Van Allen belts? Do you know they're deadly? So how did they go through them 6 times? Do you want a leaflet, sir? You got one, thanks. Shall we make it a little quick conversation? I don't mind. Yes, sir. What would you like to ask?
What's the motivation for us being told it's round?
Okay, I will humour you with an answer, but much like a crime scene, if I saw Harold Shipman's murders, I couldn't possibly understand his motive, but at least I can see all the murders to tell me there was a crime. So we've done that part of the inspection. We did in the end, but a crime scene investigator wouldn't jump straight to motive. He'd look at, have we got a crime first, and then he would go to motive. So I will humour with an answer now. It's control, power, and money, and probably, quite possibly, more land. I'd kindly ask you to investigate Sir Admiral Byrd, who in the 50s. Money and control. Okay, let me go deeper. I am
And if you want to see the rest of Robin's interaction with those people, go ahead and look at this Bristol Activism Global Tour upload from today. The next clip I'm going to show you to this here is just, sorry, I'm just multitasking with this there. And yeah, just forwarding it a little bit for you
I
here.
mean peer reviewed.
No.
I don't mean
Okay.
made up and your pal next door.
Okay, so peer review. Can I ask you to research 4 peer-reviewed scientists who declared and published their papers that the Earth does not move. Michelson, Morley, Airy's failure, and Sagnac. The Earth does not move. That's right. So think about your observations. You can set a time-lapse photography up and take a picture of the pole star, and all the stars will circle above you day in, day out for centuries. Now, we're supposed to be spinning 1,000 miles an hour around the equator, 67,000 miles an hour around the sun, 450,000 miles an hour around the universe, the galaxy. So how on earth, year on, year out, do I see the same stars circling above me when we should have some movement, some parallax?
But we do have.
Okay.
We do have over time. We have recession.
Have you seen the three pyramids in Giza? They line up to Orion's belt. Now, how is that possible if we're doing all of that movement? Every year we see the same lineup. So here's some more observations.
No, you just said something absurd again.
Why is it absurd?
You can see because it's been observed for
yeah. Do look into it. Thank you.
This has been interesting. I think a complete truth.
Well, there are.
I don't know where you get your. I don't know how you begin to start to say this.
It must seem heresy.
I'm old. I've read a lot of science and I'm into science. So I'm prejudiced because I realise you can prove anything.
Good for you. Good for you, sir.
What you're doing is disinformation, and we don't want it. We don't want more lies.
Well,
not at this time. We want some honesty and integrity.
Correct.
We want a truth.
Please go home, sir, and look up Airy's failure, because you can't do it now unless you've got your phone.
No, read science.
Okay, please go on peer-reviewed science.
You don't understand this. You don't understand procession. Hey, I'll let you speak.
Okay, sir, go ahead. Go ahead.
As much as that has been painful to listen to.
I'm listening, sir.
Can we respect each other's?
No, absolutely cannot respect it.
Okay.
It is. I'm not stopping to speak. It is speaking, isn't it? Because you're lying.
Hiya.
You're lying, you're cheating, you're deceiving people.
Really? That's a shame. We've got millions of people who agree with me, you know. No, definitely not. That's Flat Earth Society is not a correct place to look for information. The government and NASA about where we live. So, because you know the UN flag. If I just show you a picture of the UN flag, I haven't got one to hand. Yeah. So what we're doing is we're just showing people that with natural observation, we're struggling to see a curvature, and if we live on a globe, we should see some curvature, shouldn't we?
Who's a scientist?
There's lots of scientists in my.
Sorry, I got carried away, Robin. Just saying, awesome way of handling that triggered guy. Sorry about that. I'm getting messages like, that's it, Roxanne. Stop there, Roxanne. That's enough, Roxanne. Sorry, I get sucked in. Sorry, I'm literally viewing it like I was viewing theirs today. That's how captivating it is for me. I would probably literally sit here and watch all of you lot's content all over again on a hangout quite happily. Like, where do I sign? If you want to see the rest of that interaction, which I so was intently watching, guys, check out Robin's full content from today. This next clip I'm going to play to you is just a little bit further on at about 22 minutes in. And this clip, I think, oh, look, there's Marilyn. I'm just going to get it lined up properly. Sorry about that, guys. There we go from there. Perfect.
No, according to that calendar, you still need 365 circuits of the sun. But instead of this movement that we're told, I think the sun is a bit like a torch, and it shines a local light on the Earth very close, and therefore when it's over there, it's dark over here, and vice versa, and it goes in a circuit. Think of yin and yang on Chinese Taoism, yeah? That's sun and moon.
And in the middle is...
Sun and moon is a yin and yang. Well, I think that, yeah, I think yin and yang was telling us that they knew where the sun and the moon was.
Well,
I'm Robin. Nice to meet you. We'll be here just till about 5.
Yeah,
All right?
because it is quite a controversial subject.
Have you got a leaflet?
Yes.
You got one? Yeah.
Your question is all the great scientists, all the.
Don't.
You're questioning everyone.
Well,
but who's told them to come out of all these lies if they are lies?
Don't forget, it's a theory of gravity. Don't forget, it's a theory of gravity.
Why would they come out with this?
Remember, because of control. I could take 5 minutes. Control and money. Control, money, and more land. We think Sir Admiral Byrd went out exploring.
Robin, this sounds crazy now. What, more land in it? What,
yeah. So imagine you're on a disc, like that map over there. This one here, and there's the Antarctic perimeter. So everywhere you go is south. Okay, and there's the sun and the moon, like we talked about before. Sir Admiral Byrd went to the South Pole, and he came back on a TV show and said, "I found land the size of America." Shortly afterwards, they created the Antarctic Treaty, which got signed off by 53. And the Antarctic Treaty got signed by 52 nations, and they locked down the whole perimeter. You can't go there without a business case and a sign, like a planning permission. I think what they thought was, "Oh crap, we found out the Earth has got a perimeter." Then shortly afterwards, they fired atomic warheads in an operation called Operation Fishbowl, and they hit the top. And then shortly afterwards, they went, "Crumbs, we're in an enclosed space."
Robin, how did you get it?
My daughter came home from work one day and said, "Someone at work thinks the Earth's flat." And this was October 2015. And I thought, "Crumbs, that's crazy. What about the Red Bull jump? I've seen the curvature." Anyway, I looked into it, and for 2 weeks, I was slowly getting deprogrammed to what I thought I knew.
Okay.
And I recognized that I can see too far. Water always lies flat. And I'm struggling to see any evidence of a globe because all the photos of Earth from space are not genuine. Then I could see NASA chicanery. Look at all this stuff around here. NASA used green screen and tripwires. Look, they're faking it all the time. They are faking it all the time. And you can see they're pretending they're on the Yeah, they're pretending. Yeah, they're in the ISS. Do you know NASA's got the biggest film studios in the world?
I did not know.
Yeah. Look at him, Tim Peake, faking it with green screen.
Well, he's English, isn't he?
He is. Yeah. So if you've heard of the Freemasons, all of the... He's faking that there's weightlessness. He's faking because they use VR technology to float objects in space. And then they can pretend they've got floating microphones, floating objects. It's fake, mate. $52 million a day. $52 million a day. Total.
That's a big claim to stand by.
Yeah, and we're convinced because we've now, we're not silly. We've got things to get on with in our lives, but we're cross. We're cross.
You've got 2 businesses.
I'd run a business. I've got loads of kids. I don't really need the flack, to be honest, because you get a lot of it. I just talked to a guy who just accused me of heresy. We were in Oxford and Cambridge, and all the students were going off on one because it's an insult to their investment. In their life, their whole life is invested in science. But we're saying it's very, very big lie, and it takes a while to get your head around it.
Robin, it's humongous lie. It's not a big lie.
It's the greatest. It's the greatest lie ever told. In fact, if you go on YouTube, one of the best videos ever on flat Earth is the greatest lie ever told.
Why is that being 2 magnetic balls in space? Why is that a lie?
He's pretending to float balls of water or throw silver balls. Yeah, it's supposed to be a gravity-free zone, so they have to use special effects to make that claim look correct. But when you see some of the women in space, their hair is sprayed right up, and it looks ridiculous. Hairspray, come on. What about health and safety? You're going to catch your hair in all the equipment? They made a mistake. I know.
I'd like to see a lot longer, but I haven't got time. But
You can have my business card if you want to email me. I've got my personal card here.
I think you can sit and argue that. I don't know why they spend so much money in Ireland.
Contact me on that email.
And the great scientists, and I don't know, from I'm trying to think of the physics side.
Galileo.
Galileo got in prison.
Aristophanes.
Yes, what do you think he should have been in prison?
Well, Aristophanes, the first sort of pre-NASA experiment that said,
Poor fellow said that, yeah, it was wrong.
yeah, a lot of them got castigated for it. But listen, there's millions of people waking up to this. This is the biggest YouTube content. More content than Donald Trump is millions, literally millions. And this is coming out whether people like it or not. You know, this is going to come out because I've noticed in 3 years the community is growing exponentially.
That bit on the South, the Antarctica side,
yeah,
they're lying to us because they want to keep
the land, possibly the land.
You must believe in, I don't know, secret society.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Yes, you do. Yeah.
Did you see the day before Donald Trump got inaugurated? Some key people went down to the Antarctic. I think it was the Pope and one of the vice presidents for Hillary Clinton. I've forgotten his name.
Why did they do that?
You tell me. There's obviously new agreements or something important happening. So I can't find out why they lied, but we've got a good idea. Power, control, money. And also don't forget, the Big Bang Theory requires faith, and so does evolution. So if we are on a globe...
Why are they doing that with Brian Cox and all that?
I know.
Yeah, that Big Bang. They're making the explosion again, aren't they?
The CERN experiment,
yes.
That's very scary. I don't really know, to be honest. It looks much more than it is. If you look at the statues outside, the god of destruction, Shiva, is outside. So that's a bit freaky. But yeah, I'd say there's a lot to this, and it's.
I agree with you. But not as far as you went, Rob. Not as far as you went.
I didn't mean to go down this rabbit hole, but I've done it, and I'm happy that and I'm happy that I've got my facts straight. And science doesn't really stack up when you check out, for instance, gravity is density and buoyancy. If something drops, it's because of denser than air. And don't forget, it's a theory of gravity. You can't make the leap from Cavendish with his 2 balls in a barn that one body apparently attracted the other due to its mass. You can't suddenly make the big leap that, okay, the Earth's so big that it will float into space and water will cling to it. Trillions of tons of water will cling to the underside of that ball. It's a huge... That's if you believe in the globe. Now, I don't currently because I've seen there's no evidence for a globe. All the images are faked. There is no number 2 proof. When we look at boats going over the horizon, what we used to see disappear to our eyes, losing it and thinking it's gone over, we can bring it back now with a Coolpix P900 camera.
Robin, I'm going to leave
it. Yeah, top man.
I'm going to leave it up.
Look into it when you can.
Yeah, I will.
All the best. Thanks for listening anyway.
Yeah, well, it's hard to swallow. It's a big plane. It's time cost, isn't it?
It is. Thanks, mate. Have a good day. Take it easy.
Excellent. Absolutely brilliant interaction, Robin. He was really nice, wasn't he? Absolutely loved his quest for, information about the subject. It was a completely decent, civilized conversation. Again, that's a conversation that's reflective of the subject being socially accepted to talk about. That's a socially accepted kind of discussion.
It's a nice gentle to and fro, isn't it? It's not challenging. It's not threatening. We're just comfortable with one another, so it's great.
Absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Now, this next clip is the Inquisitive Pilot. The first one. Yeah. I'll say that because there was 2. So everybody sit back and enjoy this. This is a few minutes of this. Go on, Robin, sorry.
No, go ahead. It's a good contrast what you see between the first and the second. So go ahead.
Exactly. Lovely.
At least it's fascinating. It makes you rethink a lot when you've got your head around it. It does make you rethink an awful lot. Has Marilyn been chatting to you for a little bit?
I just met a minute ago.
Okay.
He's
Yeah, I'm interested. I'm very interested.
Good for you. Is there any proofs that you would say? I normally ask people, what's your number one proof you live on the globe?
Well, the first one that springs to my mind is that you have like DENIER'S, can navigate.
Do you know Harry here? He flies drones, and the reason he looked into flat Earth was because his drone lost the signal when it said so many satellites should be counting, and then he recognised that when he was in a remote area, he lost the signal. And for instance, when I go for, I went on a cruise on Royal Caribbean, and Royal Caribbean have a mast on the boat. Why would you need a mast if your satellite gives your phone a signal? So what we're saying is, we think it's land-based towers that give you that signal. Satellites, curiously, when you search on Google satellites from space, there's not one genuine photo. You look at them and you go, that's CGI.
Well, they are. They're supposed to be.
Yeah, but satellite pictures.
And also, when you saw the President of the United States calling the astronauts, today's time, you can't even get a signal if you're in the Highlands.
I have personally flown around the world. I've gone from here to America, then America round to Australia, and then back to the.
Can I just sort of go to this map for a second? If that's a magnetic north, and I keep a bearing of due west, I will continue. Sorry, due east. I'll continue with magnetic north to my left and keep going.
Yeah.
Now, I've spoken to aeroplane pilots, and we've got footage of them in their cockpit saying the Earth's flat. I never account for curvature, because don't forget, if you're going 500 miles an hour, you should be dipping your nose by a mile every 5 minutes, and your drink stays horizontal. The air hostesses are not using grapple hooks to stay. Think about a 10-hour flight to India. You'd need to dip the nose till the plane was pretty much vertical going down, wouldn't you, around the ball? And I'm telling you, the artificial horizon in a plane's cockpit is derived by a gyroscope, which locks that horizontal line in place, and they maintain their attitude all the way through. Yeah, they use the spirit level. The main thing that got it for us was you can see too far. So if you've got a leaflet, haven't you? Just open up that picture for me on this one. So you can see in the world's longest distance photo, 275 miles away, and that's 3 miles of curvature missing, because the mountain range should be behind that 3 miles of curvature. And we can do that ourselves. If you go to Porth Call, you can see Minehead 21 miles away, and it should be behind about 600 feet of curvature.
I mean, if this is true, then it would be a massive conspiracy.
Huge.
We're talking like pretty much every pilot and everyone who works in astrophysics and research. It would be massive.
Let me give you some insights. Let me give you some fresh insights on that. So all space flight has to go through an agency called the Aeronautic Environment Safety Bureau. And even if you're a private entrepreneur with his rocket, you have to report your telemetry data, your flight plan, your technology, all of those things way in advance. So someone is vetting, because that bureau then goes to NASA. So you can't do that. With regards to, would NASA all have to be in on it? No, absolutely not. The only people who need to know are the pilots who are going out into space. There's only been 500 of those. And the telemetry guys who would actually track and log all the data, and they could literally hand off to someone else who's then remote controlling it. The rest of them just believe they're making rockets. And if you watch them, they go up in a big curved trajectory all the time. And when they bend over, it looks like they're not going up anymore. In fact, it looks like they're going down. And when you think, oh, that's it, they're going to burst into space, and I'll be able to see that magic footage, guess what happens? Cuts to CGI. You've got a cartoon. So if we live in an enclosed system, which is what we're saying, that's what's happening. They can't get to space because we don't think it's there. And then going back to pilots, when pilots do turn whistleblower, they get grounded. We've got a couple of examples of pilots who've gone, hold on, this ain't right. And I've looked at probably 19 different documents from NASA, the American Air Force, airplane pilot training manuals, and they talk about a flat, stationary, non-rotating plane for all their geometry. If you can look it up, I've got all the links. I've got all of them.
I mean, the thing is, if a plane is traveling, say, from here to Japan, gravity isn't always acting in the same direction, is it? So, say if a plane is flying straight, it's not always pulling down. As a plane moves, the gravity is pulling at a different angle.
So you think?
So, we'd expect, say, an iPhone's telemetry to stay level.
No, someone's used a standard builder's one. But the main thing is the gyroscope in the artificial horizon, because that's fixed. And it holds its rigidity in space. The other thing is, you would have to, if you lift on a globe, your aeroplane would just have to keep going. And when you get to Australia, you're upside down.
Yeah, but gravity, this is what I'm saying.
Relativity.
So you're not really upside down. Say that we're upside down.
I get you.
Gravity's pulling me towards the center.
I can appreciate that if we knew that gravity was capable of doing that. So far, testable, repeatable evidence. There's oh yeah, you're right. So far, we've got the Cavendish experiment, which claimed that two balls held on cables, one larger than the other. One would attract the other with a larger mass.
Yes.
Now, no one's repeated that experiment.
Yes, because the force acting between these two forces is microscopic, especially compared to like air.
Sure. So where we have to go from that one experiment, which no one can witness again, one man's testimony, is suddenly that we can go that 70% of the Earth's water will stick to the underside of the water. Trillions of tons of water will cling to the outside of shape, which it never does. We can never observe that. So when you start to process some of these facts, they do boggle your brain, because you go, oh, you're really challenging me now. And me as a critical thinking adult, it took 2 weeks to come round. So I don't expect anyone to do it here and now. But I will just give you a couple of facts which make you at least ponder. So the big one is the distance. The other one is when you try and fly from here to here, you should, on a normal map, you should go underneath the Antarctic, shouldn't you? And it should be the short hop between there and there. Yeah. But what happened when a lady fell pregnant from Santiago, I think she was, she had to fly all the way. She was in flight, she went into labor, and the pilot took her to there, which would have been a straight shot if she had been going across to deliver her baby. She arrived somewhere here, Ankara or somewhere. Whereas on here, these long distance flights, she'd have had to go all the way up there in a big dog leg. And I'd recommend you check out flight paths, because there they are. Look, they're all the long haul flights are big dog legs. They don't make sense on the southern hemisphere. Now you're a flight man, so that you understand this.
I mean, this isn't representative of how the Earth really looks.
I get you, but
it's a globe, so these aren't straight lines.
Yeah, I'm respectfully challenging you're making an excuse for this huge dog leg. I would give you some, but not something of that size. The other thing is that some good observations of the sun. So that's a local hotspot where we're looking at the sun from a high altitude footage. Why would it create that little hotspot if it was 93 million miles away? Crepuscular rays. If we draw the lines up to that point, we would get to where the sun is. It's not 93 million miles away. So you've got your leaflet. I'd recommend looking at some of the videos on this website. It's pleasure to see you. Andy, take care. Yeah. Is he? Yeah, he was a pilot, yeah.
and then straight to this clip.
You're wearing
And this is Kane's daughter.
So is your mum and dad convinced you? Yeah. Hooray. How old are you? 20. Well, do you know Roxanne Glenn? She's got a channel which I subscribe to. And yeah, she's such a cool chick. She might be watching now. So you need to subscribe to her, Roxanne Glenn. She's ace. She's actually coordinating this tour with Harry, Jason, and the rest of the team. And we're finishing in London on Saturday with like a press release, big party. The Guardian are going to be there, and we're trying to make a big splash. You know, so thanks so much for coming down. It's brilliant. Fantastic to see you, and everyone's going to be thrilled that you've come. Thank you very much. They are, aren't they? I've had some great conversations, some really open-minded. You can't convert someone in 5 minutes. That's the thing. You can plant a seed and let them go off and check it out for themselves. Some of them will, yeah. One was really hardcore though. He was well clinging to his ball. But I think it's great. Real mixture.
Love it.
Yeah.
Absolutely love it. And the next clip is from another pilot. This pilot here, I can't state him being the same as yeah, well, how about you just watch it and see for yourselves, guys. Here we go.
That's fair enough. I did it when I first started looking. It's not something any of us wanted to get into, to be honest. So we've all got jobs and reputations and what have you. This is a UK tour. We've done 48 locations, and we're ending up with the Guardian in London on Saturday, press conference. And we've had quite a bit of interest from local press. We've got some pilots who come on camera who say it's flat.
Really?
Yeah. Big jumbo jet pilots, yeah. If you do come out though, a proper whistleblower, you get grounded. And that's what happened. There's a testimony of someone who was flying with KLM. She got grounded. She tried to raise it with her superiors, but she got grounded in an office job. Her testimony is online.
What I mean is
the thing is, do you account for curvature? You know your artificial horizon is spun up with a gimbal, isn't it? So the gimbal is just a gyroscope which maintains its rigidity of space. So if we were flying from, say, Heathrow to India, we would be going around the curve of the ball, dipping our nose by about a mile every 5 to 10 minutes. And yet, if we're going 500 miles an hour, then after about 5 minutes, it's a tenth. 500 miles on that curvature chart would say it's at least 10 miles of curvature. And this is just geometry of a ball. This is not our chart.
Above the horizon, so really flying out of the horizon.
Yeah, so, but would you agree you're not dipping your nose?
Okay. It's showing you, it's not the horizon, so it's showing you the horizon.
Okay.
If you aim towards the horizon.
Okay.
It's going to go forever. Keep showing you because you're heading towards the horizon.
Okay, so humour me for a minute. Let's say you were flying across a flat piece of land for 100 miles. And you know whether you're dipping the nose because you have to control the plane, don't you?
Yeah.
So would you agree with me? Okay, correct. But given that an aeroplane without complex machinery, the joystick would have to go down, wouldn't it? If we weren't using a big complex jumbo.
I like my aircraft. You don't keep flying.
Okay, so would you agree you'd have to correct for curvature though? Why wouldn't you? But the curvature maths are quite extreme. Let me just say that over 100 miles, there's 6,600 feet of curvature that's Ben Nevis and higher. So you'd notice that dip, you would have to correct for that dip.
Flying around like a beach ball, then yeah, you notice that you're 15 or something. But
But 100 miles is roughly 10 to 15 minutes of your flight at 550.
Yeah.
So you're going to have to dip by Ben Nevis every 10 minutes. You're going to have to dip by that scale. And surely you're... That's what you're saying. Your plane's doing it for you. But the reality... Okay, so why if I'm flying on a ball, would I not compensate for curvature though? Are you saying that all aeroplanes' controls naturally compensate for curvature and you don't have to do anything? That's interesting. Because my logic...
You would take a light aircraft, but there's nothing sophisticated about it.
That's really interesting, because if I was just being Joe Public, not knowing any of this, and I got in my plane and I knew I was going on a ball, I'd expect to have to dip my nose.
If there is no, you've got nothing to go, there is no flat. If you take the fact there's nothing flat, you can't say where the market is flying on
Okay.
Like that is, because there's nothing around on this planet to wait for a
Do you know if I could switch gears a little, because I think we're going to agree to disagree. Switch gears a little bit. You know the Southern Hemisphere flights from Santiago to Chile, where we're going from one tip down here to that one. Did you know that they all go in massive dog legs up here? Do you know the reason for that?
Yeah, that's shorter distance.
Shorter distance to make a big dog leg. Okay. Interesting. Well, so you've heard about this from periphery stuff in the background. Okay. Great. I would love to see them, because whenever we ask someone to show us, they can't come up with one. Do you want to do it? Do you mind if I ask you?
Well, I can't really say the company I do.
No, fair enough. Fair enough. Well, humour me when you get home tonight. Have a look at your photos. Put something straight against it. And I'll be really pleasantly surprised if you can see it. Yeah. Okay. Well, the thing is, we've got lots of footage of high altitude balloons that are 110,000 feet, and the horizon meets the eye level, which goes to show if I was on a ball and I was a mosquito, let's say, rising above the ball, the edge of that ball should drop below my eye line, because the curvature is it's tighter than you think. Ben Nevis after 100 miles is quite tight. So if I'm up at 110,000 feet, I shouldn't be able to see the horizon flat level right in front of my eye level. It should actually start to drop. But that's not the case when you look at the footage. So I just respectfully ask, have a look. Someone's done some fantastic footage.
And if you want to see the rest of that interaction that Robin had, go ahead and watch the full length feature on Bristol Activism at Globe LITOR. Actually, no, 40 more seconds. No, 40 more seconds. I want to hear the end of it. Sorry.
And so we can't see any refraction or atmospheric lensing. And you can actually see clearly, I think the longest about 1,800 miles, and it's still eye level. So anyway, these are the challenges we're putting up. Well, thank you for listening. I appreciate you listening. And do humour me tonight and just have a look at your photos. Yeah, thank you very much. Good stuff. All the best. God bless. Hiya.
That was so worth just watching the end of that interaction. Again, end in a civilized fashion, showing me that subject was even socially acceptable for them to talk about, and he's apparently a pilot, which is to me, that's brilliant. It's just going further into showing that it's becoming socially accepted. So for me, That is all good. This clip here is around 2 hours, 10 minutes into Robin's feed from today. So I'm just going to play.
Well, in the respect that I hear what this guy's saying, there's evidence to support moving theories.
Yeah.
One thing we believe in is the evidence we're going to take.
Yeah, I understand. I think the only way to truly judge this is to look into it, and I can't convince you here and now.
Truly is to go into space.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And
we're not going to be able to do that, are we?
No, that's right. Well spotted. No, that's right.
I just, my thing is why? If we're being lied to, why would we?
I could give you a really quick answer. That's power, money, more land, and control. And if you want me to elaborate any of those points, I can.
Yeah. Okay.
Which point?
Profit.
So NASA get $52 million a day for giving us cartoons. If you remember, rockets go up, they always go in a trajectory, a curved one, don't they? They never seem to go straight. And then when we see them going up, we think in a minute they're going to carry on showing us into space, but they don't. They flick to a cartoon or a CGI. We never get that full picture. So money, $52 million a day. Yes, but if they want to maintain control and make us feel that we're hemmed in an enclosed space where we can't explore anymore, and yet they've got more land.
Yeah, I think if the Earth was flat, either way, it wouldn't change perspective on.
That's an interesting. I would say it didn't mean the first few weeks. My daughter's 26 and she came home from work and said, someone at work reckons the Earth's flat. This is about 3 years ago. For 2 weeks, I was head into the computer. And afterwards, I started to change my perspective because I suddenly thought, hold on a minute, if they've lied to us about all of this, what else are they lying about?
Yeah, I'm a big, not saying, I'm a big conspiracy.
I read about it.
Yeah, I am very skeptical. A lot of things that I'm told.
Can I give you a list and just say I'm skeptical, yes or no? 9/11.
Yeah.
Pharmaceuticals.
Yeah.
Food industry.
Yeah.
Banking.
Probably.
Yeah, I'm not
I didn't really
and wars and military interventions.
Yeah.
So there's top 5. So do you agree that men are susceptible to bribery and corruption?
Yeah.
So even in science, the top guys can be corrupted.
I can see a bigger reason as to why those top ones you just
Yeah.
said. Yeah.
Okay.
Especially pharmaceuticals.
Let me give you the long answer to land. Okay, so 1950s, Sir Admiral Byrd discovered more land, and he went on TV and said, I found more land beyond the South Pole, size of America. It's got coal, oil, and uranium in. Shortly afterwards, they formed the Antarctic Treaty, which was signed off by 53 nations who all basically said, you can't come here. So they locked it down. 2 years later, they shot up atomic warheads into the Earth's atmosphere, exploding against something, but we don't know what. Literally straight afterwards, NASA's formed, and I reckon they had a board meeting and said, do you know what, we found the edge, we found the top, shall we fess up to it? Because if we do, we have to admit we've been wrong for 450 years. Science is going to take a beating, religions are going to get cocky, the stock market, yeah, they'd suddenly be able to go, God exists, because we're in an enclosed space and a design space. But I won't. Don't. Well, listen. I don't expect you to believe me, but do look up Operation Fishbowl because you'll see the warheads hit something.
But it not just look like it has.
Yeah. Have you watched the Truman Show? The film.
Yeah.
That is a flat Earth film. Yeah. It's a flat Earth film in that it's about control.
Yeah.
And when you find that you've been controlled, you want to get out.
But I also think that they can control that. The government would control everything to be controlled if the Earth was round or flat.
Understood.
So if it was and they had proof that it was flat, I just struggled to.
Do you think they really fess up?
They do all the time. Like things sort of progress with the ages, and they're like, oh, we used to think that this was even things like cannabis and stuff.
Yeah, well said.
That there are things that they start to think actually we might not have said that so much about this.
Yeah, well
now,
said. Can I just leave you with a parting shot? So, parting thoughts. There's a theory of evolution.
Yeah.
which you have faith. You need faith to believe that. It's a big bang. Loads of stuff comes from nowhere. We've got the theory of gravity. So I know something, I drop it and it falls, but I've got to have faith to believe that water will stick to the underside of a ball, trillions of tons. Need faith for that. Then there's the theory that we have a globe which keeps us in. It keeps us enclosed. It keeps us thinking we're insignificant. We can't go any further. We're just a random accident spinning through space, and we're not special. So if we are an enclosed system and we're not moving and we're in a designed space, we're really special.
How are we different?
Why do you think we are random?
Do you?
Yeah, I think.
Well,
I don't think
even
that's like
in terms of how we're here, like,
are you? So do you believe that in some ways everyone's connected? There's an energy between us.
Yeah.
And so if I emanate an energy, a positive one, I might attract other positive people around me.
Yeah.
So on the same token, what's happening with this awakening is I wake up to it and I reached out to a few people here, and I now run the Bristol Flat Earth meetup. And now I've got 20, 30 people who are doing it. And what's happening is I think this truth is a big movement. It's huge. I would estimate there's at least 300 million awake to this.
Could there not be
now.
a doom around it, even if it's round? Could there not be
Well,
around?
We're told the atmosphere has something called the Van Allen belts, which is apparently deadly, and yet we went to the moon 6 times and back, which I struggle with. And yes, there could be a barrier around a globe, but I can't see any evidence of a globe. I'm struggling to find it because the images I'm struggling with, I can see too far. My next proof was boats over the horizon, but with a zoom camera, we can bring it back. So that's the 2 top proofs of a globe gone for me. And what surprised me was I couldn't name a number 3.
Yeah.
So, yeah, because a lot of people come up and say, that's round, why aren't we round? Well, why can't we be unique? It's like saying the snooker table is round. It looks round. I don't think it's spherical.
Surely then the way that they react towards each other would be
Can
there's proof that, okay, like say tidal,
Yeah.
what's that controlled by then if it's not?
So I don't know if you know this, but tides on the Caspian Sea and the Black Sea don't move at all. So if we've got a gravitational pull from the moon, it ought to be affecting those bodies of water.
The theory of where they are here.
Yeah, so have a look at that. See that dark square image over there?
Yeah.
Sun and moon's local. I can't tell you how high they are, but let's guess 3,000 miles up. No more than that. You see that one above Jason's head with the camera and the spot on the clouds? That's a sunspot, showing that the sun casts a very local light. Means it's a lot closer. If it was 93 million miles away, you wouldn't see that local light.
Yeah, I think.
Oh, awesome.
It's not meant.
Thank you.
It's something, isn't it?
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Cheers. People are fundraisers for these guys are going up and down the country in a camper van, and it's cost about $5,000. And people are like that, are just walking up, just giving us money. Fundraisers.
I think I'm inclined to
Good for you.
Yeah.
Stay skeptical about both sides.
About everything.
Yeah. And then go into it. I'd recommend 200 proofs. This video here on the back. And if you that YouTube video is the best one on the internet. That's a UN flag, by the way. Look, it's flat Earth. And my details are on the back. I run the Bristol Flat Earth meetup. All right. Take it easy. Thanks for coming over. Cheers.
Excellent. Absolutely excellent. Wonderful. Wonderful couple. They were really, really lovely. I really liked them. Really liked them. The next clip I'm going to show you, Robin, is 2 hours and 25. But they're a lovely couple.
They're spot on, weren't they? Very open.
They really, really were. So here we go here. And I'll ask you about it after, if that's all right.
What we're saying is we don't believe the evidence we're given for a globe. So what do you think? I can explain that in a second, but could I ask you why you think you live on a globe?
We information, the TV,
So,
school.
What's your number one proof that you live on a
I
plane?
suppose, yeah, people used to say about the thing about Horizon and watching a ship go at the water, you can see the ship drop below the horizon.
Can I just politely say that one's been covered a few years ago. If you use a Coolpix P900 camera, you can bring it back into view. Okay. So I work with perspective and a vanishing point, and boats will always disappear because our eyes can't see beyond 6 or 7 miles.
Air travel?
Okay, well there are pilots who tell us the Earth's flat, and the reason being is that artificial horizon maintains its rigidity in space because it's a gyroscope that controls the artificial horizon.
That's circumventing the globe, like air travel.
Well, you could do that bearing due west with the magnetic north in the middle on a tray-shaped Earth as well. So that works on both.
Yeah, I just wonder what the general push towards.
We're just normal people. I don't really want to be here. I just can't stand the lies. I've looked into it enough, and I'm angry enough to want to share it. So that's my reason for being here.
Is there a conspiracy behind it?
Massive, huge.
What is the aim of the conspiracy?
I could give you a really fast answer. Control, money, power, and more land and resources.
Do you have a...
I do, yeah. There we go. Welcome. Take care. All the best.
Well done.
We're on YouTube. If I want to be, I won't. That's fair enough. I always ask everyone anyway.
You best stop there.
Yep. That was excellent. Excellent.
Yeah.
How do you feel those interactions from that first video there? What's your synopsis on them all? Do you feel you had, because remember you were asking the other day about, you know, out of 10 interactions that you might have, you know, how many people were open to it, how many people knew, how many people weren't interested. Out of all of the interactions you had, could you give me a synopsis of perhaps the percentage of, who you spoke to?
So today I think I spoke to about, it's hard to guess, 25, 30 people. And out of that 30 people, let's say the numbers are easy to work out, I think I spoke to 3 completely triggered people who went off on one and accused me of things. I spoke to one really hardcore guy. I spoke to him for 20 minutes. He just would not have it. We went through 20 different facts and he just kept coming back with comebacks. I spoke to a scientist who was quite resilient again till the very end. And then we went into a different band of people, like the lovely couple you've just seen, like the guy right at the beginning who said, "Oh, Robin, it's too much." He's just openly listening. He's paying attention. Yeah. He's listening. And I spoke to probably out of 30, probably I'd say getting for 10 people like that. And then we move into the really wide awake club, and I mentioned there were 3 people from Africa, one from Eritrea, one from Ethiopia, and one from Somalia, and all 3 were taught flat earth at school, which was really interesting. And so I guess it's a numbers game, but I don't think there were many people who'd never heard of flat earth, which is key. And one guy stayed for an hour and a half. And Sean softened him up for about an hour, and then I had him for the last 20 odd minutes. And by the time he finished, he said, "Yeah, I'm really, really open to this now. I need to look into it." So
I think that really is self-evident. Where you just said that, you know, there was not really very many people that hadn't heard of it.
Yeah,
that's something that's starting to come across.
And one thing that flattered me somewhat, so this is just me puffing my ego up, but there was this lady who apparently spoke to Sean and said, "I'm into physics, I'm a scientist, and I know him over there because he's always in St George's Park talking about flat earth." And Sean said, why don't you go and talk to him then? And she went, "No, I don't want to talk to him," and walked off.
Wow.
So that means...
that says it all, doesn't it?
The word is getting out on my little channel. She must have seen it or heard about it, or something must have drawn her attention to the little old me sat on the bench talking to 3 or 4 people. But it's getting out, which is fantastic.
It really is. It really is. If it's all right with you, Robin, I've gone over to the next video, and I've gone to about 9 minutes in for the open-minded guy that you spoke to.
Yeah.
So if it's all right with you, we'll play that clip now, if that's okay.
Yeah, sorry it's late for everyone.
For me, it seems like it's too big. It seems like it's too big of an idea to be real. But then I'd be like to many things in the history. Many things.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So I'm going to record. I think it's recording. I hope so. That's okay. No worries. Okay. Hopefully it saves.
There's like 300 million employees.
Yeah. So have you heard? There's only 450 that have been outside Earth's atmosphere, and there's something called the Aerospace Safety Bureau, which is an independent body that has to vet all private space flight and other countries' space flights. And they ask for the telemetry data, the payload, the route maps, all of it, and they're supposed to be just checking. Well, that for me is monitoring and control to make sure. And the only guys that need to know are the astronauts themselves, and if you look at the pictures of Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin in the press conference after they allegedly came back from the moon, you'll see their faces are guilty. They're like this. Their body language says we never went there.
I believe we traveled.
I'd say look up a funny thing happened on the way to the moon. So that's one big crime. They lied about the moon landing. So you have to then look up why, the big reason why for this is control, power, and money, I've said, and possibly more land. And the whole mechanics of how do we keep this under wraps, it's like a big pyramid structure of power. The top guys are the ones that need to know. The rest are just signed on secrecy acts anyway. They're all military. If you signed your vetted clearance, you've got to keep quiet whether you like it or not. Otherwise you're in the bin. So whistleblowers will be in all sorts of trouble.
I think that's what I mean then. Surely the whistle would have been blown by now.
Yeah.
Or has it? You just think so?
Well, yes, there are 1 or 2 NASA employees I've seen with YouTube channels now explaining their journey.
Yeah, that's safe. That shit's killing me.
So how are you going to sum up your last hour and a bit? Okay. Willing to have another look or look a bit further?
Absolutely. I look at everything. I look at it until I get an answer which I can settle with. I look at everything. I will read it. Just like I have everything else, like the monetary system, history in general.
Good for you, mate. Well, I'm going to have a few more conversations and I'm wrapping up. Yeah. There's quite a few, I'd say. That's right, it's raising awareness. That's why we're here. 20%, I'd say, already know or are aware of something. Well, good for you. I'd say your world's going to get a bit more interesting if you look into this. Take care.
Excellent.
Lovely to meet you. Take care.
Absolutely brilliant. What a brilliant interaction. It's interactions like that, again, that make me feel like the awareness is starting to spread, the social is becoming more socially accepted to talk about, the conversations are becoming more civilized, and I mean that in the sense of we're now looking at more civilized conversations than more lunatic accusations, if I should say that. We're still going to, I think it's inevitable, people are still going to have a bad reaction, but I'm starting to notice the reactions are becoming far less than they were before, the negative ones anyway.
That's right, and don't forget that Sean had spent an hour just softening him up because he was very resistant in the first 10 minutes. Apparently, Sean spent a long time just gently coaxing him into the truth, and by the time he finished, like he said, he was confused, but he'd been on a long journey himself into truth, so he's open to a lot of things, and I think he will get there. He's definitely really curious.
Yeah, well said. Well, talking about Sean, I was going to say that brings me on to this clip of Sean. If it's all right with you, I'm going to play it just now. Is that all right, darling?
Go for it. Yeah, it's great.
Fantastic.
Okay, Sean, I'm recording, but you're not live. I'll upload it later. So how have you found today?
This is my best day. It's my 4th place that I've been now.
Yeah.
I'm slowly growing in confidence and speaking to people. I've just had a massive day.
Awesome.
I've had no hassle with people. They just like people are so close-minded, but they don't know the truth. You just see them opening up. It just makes you feel so electrified. It does. Awesome.
Yes, that's the truth, that you can empower you as an individual in a new setting so we can grow confidence like we all do.
Oh, yes.
We're still individuals, but we still empower ourselves to gain confidence by working on groups.
Yes, fantastic. And we've had Lisa, we've had Marilyn, we've had Kane, we've had Sheena. We've had Kane and Sheena's daughter.
They've all got the same energy.
That's awesome.
Brilliant.
Awesome. And we've had somebody called Sally come up and say hello, and Jason come up and say hello.
Yes.
They want to see us later.
Jason was great.
Yeah. So I'm impressed with Bristol. It had its hardcore moments. I've had my.
It's quite hard to be honest, but it's so nice.
We've had science hard nuts.
Yeah.
Did you tackle that last guy with the glasses?
Yeah.
Is he still a bit triggered when he left?
I said not to talk to you anymore because he's too triggered me. So he calmed down a wee bit, but then started getting triggered again.
Yeah, I did tell him you're triggered. Pointed to cognitive dissonance. I said, "That's you, mate."
I also say, are you an educated, intelligent man? Yes. So then you'd be able to have an intelligent conversation without resorting to abuse. But they can.
Yeah. It's fantastic. Well, thanks.
No problem.
Excellent. Absolutely brilliant. And the last one I want to say tonight, if it's okay with you, Robin, is promo for the end of tour event on Saturday, the 3rd of November at Villiers High School, Boyd Avenue, Southall, London, UB1 3BT. It's right here, and I just want to play it from the top if that's all right with you. Love it. Me too. I can't wait. I can't wait to meet people that I've already met and meet some more people that I've not met before, Robin. Really looking forward to it, my darling.
It's going to be such a cool day.
Loving that promo. So many reactions of people. Just looking at some of the clips on that, remembering some of the people that have come out onto the tour. Sometimes it all feels like a bit of a blur until you see clips again. Then you think, oh, yeah, crikey, I remember that person. Yeah, I remember that person too. Oh, yeah, I remember that one. It's great. Great.
So heartwarming. It's really lovely.
So you're going to be out in Bath tomorrow, I take it. So you're going to need to get somewhat of an early night. It's not really going to happen at 1:30 in the morning, is it, Robin?
Not happening. It's called Late Night and Matchsticks tomorrow.
Exactly. I'm not sure if you're going to be able. I mean, are you going to be able to hang in there while I play through Harry's clips as well?
Do you mind if I call it a day, if that's okay, Roxanne?
I do not mind at all. That's why I'm giving you the option. I'm giving you the option to try out and go to bed and get some rest.
Thank you,
I've got
sweetheart.
quite a few clips from Harry that I'm going to have to get through first before I go.
Bless you.
Thank you so much, Robin, for being here with us, and everyone in the chat room for being here with us as well, as Robin and Harry and Jason have been here. But one by one, they've had to go because they've got an early start out doing activism tomorrow in Bath. So if you haven't already, click the link for Lifting the Lids channel and hit the subscribe bell on that for you to get notified when they're in Bath tomorrow. Robin, I hope everything goes brilliant tomorrow in Bath. I'm with you all the way. So proud of everything you guys are doing, and I hope it all goes brilliantly. Well done, you.
Thanks, Roxanne. Okay, we'll speak to you tomorrow. Good night all. Thanks for tuning in.
Excellent. Take care. Speak to you tomorrow.
Cheers, Roxanne. Bye.
Perfect. Take care, darling. Right, guys. So that's Robin off to go and get some rest now before they go out into Bath tomorrow. Jason and Harry are doing the same and getting some rest. I, however, I've got some more clips to show you guys because, as I said, there was a lot of stuff done in Bath today. Now, for some reason, John Smith's one's not even coming up when I'm printing it in. That's lovely. So I'm also being a little bit more quiet than normal because my house is completely asleep right now. So I'm trying not to wake up everybody. So here we go. I'm going to start off Harry's Limerick, Newport, Swansea, Bristol, 4 hours worth. So just between Harry and Jason's feeds alone, we've got 8 hours worth of content that was done out in Bristol today. Sorry, my thing's loading up a little bit slower than I'd like. I'm just going to put this on full screen so it makes it a little bit easier for me to get the clip. Yeah, this clip's going to be starting at about 4 minutes into the content on Harry's today. Got to tell you, some absolutely brilliant clips. Thanks so much for some of these, Harry. Awesome stuff, pal. There we go. We'll start here. And this is an open-minded guy in Maryland.
He's got his flat earther.
Oh, congratulations.
Mine.
Congratulations.
His name is Alpha Mine.
Well done, Marilyn.
We may go to Spain, and I may take it further and go to Morocco, and I'm going to ask Harry if he knows anyone that can write this in Arabic. So we can go down to Morocco.
Fantastic, yeah.
And maybe go and see the king of Morocco.
Yeah. And do you have many people in Spain doing this out in the streets?
Yeah, there's lots of people actually. Yeah, it's like hundreds of thousands of people actually. Kind of woke up basically.
Yeah. And do you feel it's growing really well in Spain?
Yeah, I mean obviously there's always the trolls who just like to give the same excuses really. But yeah, the best thing about it is that people actually think by themselves.
Yes.
People start to think logically and actually apply logic than just believing blindly that this is what NASA said, this is what the scientists said, this is what Newton said. We have to believe 100% he's the king. You have to think by yourself. So
that's what we want, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's not about convincing anyone, it's about thinking by yourself. It's about thinking and kind of being more critical about the reality of the world you live in.
Absolutely, yes.
Let's play that premise 100% flat. But we know exactly that is not a spinning ball.
Exactly.
That's 100% true.
Like me, when I was 9 years of age, a scientist teacher had the globe from the dead. She had any questions on put my hand up. She said, yeah. I said, miss, well, where does the water go? If we're supposed to be swimming. Let's forget at the back of the car. And I was asking questions, you know, at that age. Until my cousin.
For example, Newton, Isaac Newton, he was a Freemason. His theories, most of his books and writings were actually Kabbalistical, and he talked about lots of things, which were like the Trinity, rituals, all this stuff. One of his writings was on Newton's book of the laws of Newton, yeah? But many of those books were assumptions and theories, none of them actually proven. And then one by the Galileo Galilei, so the same thing, Galileo Galilei was forced by the Catholic Church to actually release the book, The Revolution of the Celestial Bodies. That book, which was released in the 16th century, was a big thing. And everyone was like, oh, this is the new thing, this is the world we're spinning in. Actually, his book, in his own book, he said, this is my assumptions, ideas, and suppositions. He never said this is 100% what it is.
Yeah.
And then the Jesuits, what happened with the Jesuits, then they took this on, if you study about the Jesuits, and then, you know, the first person who said the Big Bang, you know who was a religious Jesuit. So the first person who talked about the actual Big Bang and the universe is random and everything is generated by a random explosion. The first person who said it was a Jesuit. I don't remember his name, but he was a Jesuit, and from him he got the universities which followed across. No. So after Copernicus, there was one Jesuit. I don't remember his name, but who said basically the world became from a Big Bang. You know, but that's the theory. That theory he said it's not been proven. And when he said it, lots of other universities took it across and said, "Oh yeah, we gotta." Yeah, gotta go. Yeah, great stuff, guys.
Thank you very much, man.
Excellent first conversation from Harry there. The second clip I'm going to play to you guys is around 16 minutes into the content from today. I'm just going to click to there and go straight to play.
But why would you fly up? I can't remember where it was USA to like Australia.
So from South America to Australia, you have to go up to Europe or Dubai and then come all the way down.
And fly like that.
On a flat Earth map, it's just up on a straight line.
And the UN uses the same map as the flat Earth. If you look at the UN site, it's got the same sign as flat Earth.
So may I ask you, my YouTube channel, how do you talking about airplane flight paths, which makes more sense if it's on flat level plane. So where are you on this whole subject?
I would say I'm very open to learn, like open to interpreting other people's knowledge and kind of, you know.
Yeah.
I watched a video on it probably about 18 months ago, and it kind of opened my eyes to a lot of stuff that on this board. And that's kind of where I've done a little bit more reading about it.
Oh, good. I mean, I just overheard you there, and I thought, this man's an open mind. He's actually questioning things, which most people don't question. We're told all these things from the young and impressionable before everything we develop. So we're told we live in a spinning rock in space with water flowing around it. And any question we have, gravity, to give them an example. Now, they could tell me cabbage at that age, and I would go, okay. And we never question that again. And we go up thinking, water can fall into the sea of a ball. Magically. Nowhere in nature does that happen. Because water drops to source level in ice bath. So it's all a belief system, is it not? I had to be honest with myself and admit that everything I knew about the heliocentric model, Earth and space travel was second knowledge.
you never actually. I think the interesting one is when you go up in a plane, you look out the plane window, you can't see, like you're high enough that you should be able to see the normal curvature of the Earth, but you can't actually see.
And you'll be honest about that. I mean, I interview pilots who can't see curvature, but I'll get someone on the street, and it's about winning an argument rather than looking at validity if we're talking about it, and say, yeah, I've seen a curvature. And I said, well, how come pilots don't know? Yeah. But then I said, did you take a photograph of that? No. So it's word of mouth then. Yeah. Why is the ball left so hard to prove? And when a rocket is supposed to allegedly leaves Earth orbit, goes to space, that must be the greatest spectacle of all ever filmed. Never been filmed.
But why is it? Why have they only ever landed on the moon once?
Yeah, well, you know the reason why they're not going back?
They can't. They've never got there.
Well, they're saying that, no, they haven't, but they're saying there's lots of technology. I mean, they really think people are dumb to believe all that.
So it's like 50 years later, our technology's moved on so much that why have we not been able to put another man on the moon? We ever did put a man on the moon in the first place. Absolutely. And it wasn't filmed in a submarine.
Yeah, I mean, the thing you've got me most was I can see distant lands.
Yeah.
And it's, the Earth is 24,900 miles circumference. I do the mathematics, so I should be able to see these distant lands. Yeah. It should be well below curvature. And flight paths, there's no measurable curvature, nobody's seen the curvature. But NASA uses fisheye lenses.
Yeah. Also, the whole thing about the Antarctic, how no one owns the Antarctic and this like protected land space, and what we consider to be the end of the Earth.
Yeah, by 53 countries.
Yeah.
Now, in that treaty we signed, you and I aren't allowed to go travelling down the road. Yeah. We're not allowed to get some food, fuel, or animals.
Yeah.
So there's no way we can explore that.
Yeah. Why is it with all the other land around that is all under fighting and someone owns we fight over the tiny little islands.
Yeah. And nobody's fighting over that. Yeah. Russia, ridiculous. Why do you think then people believe so much without any proof?
Because I think they don't want that they're being lied to. They don't want to believe that there's a conspiracy theory. They don't want to believe that there's a higher power that's controlling the Earth. And until you actually open your eyes, until you're woken to what's actually going on in the world, you're never going to ever believe that things could be different. And for me, I think there's very few people who are woken. And once you are woken, you try and spread the knowledge, but people don't want to believe that there was conspiracy theory about 9/11. They don't want to believe that celebrities are being killed because they're trying to fight for peace. The John Lennon, some Michael Jackson, all of it. Like it's so much easier to live in a bubble of belief about what's going on in the world rather than actually think I can actively change it. The only way we're ever going to change is by sharing knowledge, sharing. Trying to wake up more people to what's going on.
I usually shake people's hand when they're awake to their lies, and it's really good to meet more people. There's millions of people now standing up and saying that I just believe everything I was told. How can I be sure about anything?
Yeah, and you wouldn't believe it if I told you I had £1 million in my pocket. You wouldn't believe it until I showed you I had £1 million in my pocket.
Exactly.
So why would you believe that anything else?
Yeah.
This big organisation will tell you.
Yeah, and so when people say, I've seen the curvature and I can't prove it, I say, well, I was through the Loch Ness Monster last week. Do you believe me? It's just exactly, it's word of mouth, testimonies. And surely that's not enough for inquiring intelligence behind the help. Word of mouth testimonies, CGI pictures, cartoons, and theories, concepts. Do you know anybody else in your life or your family that are also awake as you are?
Only a good friend of mine who actually introduced me to Flat Earth.
Oh, wow.
He's the only person I really talk to about these in-depth subjects and don't get abused or laughed at. But I continue to talk to people about it because I think every 100 people laugh at me. If there's one person who I can convert and actually get them to think a little bit differently, whether you believe it or not, just open your mind to the knowledge.
And if you want to see the rest of that interaction with Harry and that young guy there, please go and watch the rest of his update from Bristol today, which was 4 hours long. I'm going to now jump to 53 minutes into the content from today, to these two interesting girls. And I'll start it from around there. Perfect. I don't know why my laptop's now taking forever. Okay. Here we go.
Can I ask you a couple of questions? Great, great.
Right, I've got a funny feeling I know what to do. Sorry about this, guys. Little technical difficulty here for some reason. Laptop's going to refresh the page and then get to that one again. But yeah, these were two interesting girls. And after this clip, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Only 10 more clips to go after this, guys. Okay, just 10 more clips. I'm a good laugh, aren't I? Okay. Hopefully this will load up a bit better now. My internet's good. There's no real reason for it to be doing what it's doing just now. Gotta love technology, haven't you? So yeah, my apologies for this. Okay, so let me just jump straight back to where I was. Hopefully. There we go.
That's an interesting idea.
Interesting idea?
Yeah, see another opinion.
Good. So already I can detect that you're both quite open-minded. Not necessarily believing in anything, but you're open to...
Yeah.
Do you know, I think the greatest thing we can experience in life is having someone respectfully challenge our preconceived ideas and beliefs. That's the only way we're going to develop, isn't it? If we surround ourselves with people who agree with us, we have to explore different ways of thought. Yeah. So, do you believe that you live on a spinning ball with water going around it, flying through space? May I ask you both why you think that?
Because it works, like physics makes sense.
Physics. Okay, and so?
Yeah, just always be up with it and see
evidence, right?
Yeah. Like from the satellites and stuff, when you see it, it's
all right, the pictures. Yeah. Could I suggest that you're the same as me in the experience I had? I believed in tooth fairy and Santa Claus, and they took me into an educational establishment around 5 years old, and there's a globe on teacher's table, and I'm told that's where I live. You probably have a couple of questions, and gravity's fired back at you. I think it was a cabbage that age, because my critical thinking hadn't developed. I was naive, gullible, impressionable. Why would anybody lie to me? But now, how old are you, don't mind me asking? 17, 18-year-old young ladies with independent critical thinking. Could you tell me how can water perform to exterior of a ball? Now, that was a very quick answer. I don't mean to be disrespectful because I was where you are. Is that a program response, which we've been told and taught, or is that a knowing?
No, I think it's been a proven theory of gravity, so it makes sense.
Could you cite me any proof that gravity is proven that water could be held to a ball?
I don't know enough about physics to have that proof.
That's right. And yourself, was that a program response or a knowing?
Same rate, just makes sense.
So what have I told you that's never been proven, that gravity can hold water to the exterior of a ball? That's a belief system that we have since the age of 5, and we go on believing that without any evidence of that. Because the science should be demonstrable, repeatable, and measurable. Science cannot produce any evidence for that claim, and that's why it's still called the theory of gravity. It's never been proven. But yet we believe it so easily because science tells us. Now, I'm not anti-science. You know, I'm not religious, so I'm just questioning what I've been told, and I'm asking for proof. Now, this is probably one of the biggest things on the internet right now, and it's people being honest with themselves, keeping the ego in check, and saying, well, I just believed everything I was told without any evidence. There's actually no proof that we live in a ball. And see the photographs you talked about? That guy in the middle of the check shirt, he's called Robert Simon. You can Google him and listen to him on a radio show. He works on behalf of NASA and he produces these images of Earth. And he's telling you how he produces them. They're not photographs, they're Photoshop. So we have no real photographs of Earth space. I mean, do you really think they look real? You think they look real? Close to this one. So he produces these every year. You see the size of America in 2012? It's different to 2013, isn't it?
Yeah.
So how do you explain that? Sorry?
Maybe the angle or...
I mean, America's not that big for a star on any globe, but it's taken from the same angle.
Are there any photos?
Sorry?
Are there any photos of that being flat?
Well, you can go up to high altitude balloons. Almost balloons 21 miles high and do a 360 and the horizon completely flat. Sorry?
It's actually so big.
It could. It's only 24,900 miles. So we have to see evidence of curvature somewhere. Like after 30 miles, there should be 266 foot drop. And if I can see things 30 miles away, we must live in a flat plane because it should be down below the curvature. Now, the longest photograph ever taken so far is that one, 217 miles. That's the horizon. According to the chart, the trigonometry, that should be 3 miles below the horizon. So we have modern technology now that can prove that we do not live in a ball, that we live in a flat stationary plane. All your senses are telling you right now that you're not moving, you're not spinning. The authorities will tell you you're spinning faster than a speeding bullet through space, like going 1,000 miles an hour, 67,000 miles around the sun, and millions of miles around a galaxy. Could I ask you a favour to read that black bit there and ask me if any of that correlates or relates to what you're thinking right now?
Yeah, that makes sense.
You read very quick. So, was any of that go through your head when I'm telling you all that?
Yeah, I suppose if you raise the belief of something, then it's hard to change it. But why would they teach us that if it's false?
Well, do you think the government tells you the truth?
Probably not, but why would they lie about that?
Because NASA is an extension of the government, and they get $52 million a day to present us with cartoons and CGI. But above the money, have you heard of the Antarctic Treaty? Okay, that's signed in 1958 by 53 countries, which prevent you and I exploring beyond Antarctica. We're not allowed to take extra food, fuel, supplies, or dogs and animals. So we can't go exploring. So we suspect there's further land beyond that. Now, if you go to an interview with Admiral Byrd, American Navy officer, in the 1950s on television, he's saying there's further land beyond Antarctica, bigger than America, free of ice. And he's not the only one ever to have said that. So what do you think? Do you think that's a mad idea, or do you think is there any possibility that what you believe may be wrong?
I mean, I'm going to reject it as a theory, but I still believe the idea.
But you have to be honest with yourself, it is a belief.
It's a belief, yeah, somewhere.
Yeah. You believe you've been told the truth. You're faithful. Authorities telling you the truth. No. I used to believe. There's self-evident truth, but you don't agree with self-evident truth.
Yeah, but
like, is it a self-evident truth that there's three entities here talking? Maybe.
Maybe we're a simulation.
See, I think that's a mindful of complicating reality in front of us. We don't recognize what is. We like to think what may be, what should be, but we're not paying attention to what is. Now, the whole world can walk on past by here. They're quite sure that everyone would agree with three entities here talking because it's self-evident. But I don't have to believe this tree here. It's self-evident. Fire holds water's wet. Self-evident truth. Now, gravity holds water's ball is not self-evident truth. It's a theory that's never been proven. Black holes have never been proven. Meteorites coming and hitting the ground has never been proven. Aliens here have never been proven. These are all things that keep us in fear. But we live in a flat stationary plane. If we listen to our senses, we're not moving anywhere. water cannot conform to serious shapes. It's ridiculous. So I would just suggest everything we have is a belief. It's second-hand information. Why would they lie? Because it's a scientist. You know? Because they have letters after the name and they're attained an academic.
If you want to see the rest of that interaction, check out Harry's Bristol live feed from today. This next clip I'm going to play to you is from 29 minutes into the feed from today. And I'll play it. And here we go.
You listen, sir? Sorry? What's the thing? Are you okay if I film on YouTube channel? Let's bring this in. We question whether we live on a gold model or not. Do you think you live in a ball earth?
I don't know. Really,
that's an honest answer.
I mean,
I like that when people say I don't know, because we just believe what we're told, don't we?
do I see the evidence I think is true, and then obviously I just want to know the full fact story.
And what evidence do you think is true?
Well, that's photos and whatnot.
Okay. Can I show you something about those photographs? This guy here, if you Google him, he's called Robert Simon. He works for NASA, and he produces these marble shots each year. Now, I don't know if you think they look real, but anyway, he says on a radio show that these are not real photographs, but they're Photoshop. He creates them.
What about the spaceman? The NASA Space Center.
Space Center.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that real?
Oh, the International Space Station.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't think it is. No.
No.
If you research it well enough, you'll see that these astronauts are underwater. They're not in space. Well, when they're doing a spacewalk, you can see bubbles come out of the helmets. You can actually see somebody with a camera in the reflection of the visor, and he's got a frog suit on. Flippers. Over here, there's another two. He produces these every year for NASA. 2012, 2013, look at the size of America there compared to America there. It's laughable, isn't it? But we're supposed to expect they're real. But he states that they're not photographs anyway, they're just Photoshop. But people believe they're real. And then you look at high altitude balloons, we got to 21 miles high, and they show a completely flat horizon, 360 degrees, while NASA show you fisheye lenses, which
why would they lie to that?
Well, that's always a tricky road to go down, because I don't really know. I'm not lying to you, so I'd have to go into the road of theories and concepts on why they're lying. Although NASA get $52 million a day, and they have done since the 1960s, to present us with cartoons and CGI images. But I think, personally, that they're hiding a lot of land that could be kept from us. You know, we have this illusion that there's space out there when it's actually further land. And we're not allowed to go that far to explore.
Maybe. Interesting.
Yeah. Okay, man. Thank you.
Excellent. Absolutely brilliant. What an excellent conversation that was. I really enjoyed that. Like I said, I have to jog my memory to make sure that I don't play on through, because I could quite easily watch all of this again and be up all night doing that. And that's not what we want to do. So I'm going to play this next clip now. This is from about an hour and 8 minutes into Harry's feed from today. And I'll go from, hopefully it'll load up.
Black.
Here we go.
Then it is round.
Because I trust my eyes and I trust my senses.
Okay. All right. In all fairness, from what I can see, the earth is flat.
Oh, good.
Yeah, but now
good.
if I stand at the top of the hill, a very big hill,
yes,
it's not flat, is it?
I would say it is flat at the top of the hill.
It's very hilly.
Oh, sorry, you're talking about the top of a hill.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not using, when we say flat, we're not saying literally everything's flat. Yeah. The horizon's always flat, no matter what height you're at.
Yeah.
But if you go up in an aeroplane 35,000 feet, the horizon is so flat level here. Now, if you're on a ball and we ascended really high, that ball would fall below your horizon, would it not?
Yeah. So seeing as NASA, so-called NASA, has been up there.
No, I don't agree to that. No, nobody's been up there.
Well, how do satellites get up there?
Well,
how do our phones work?
Could I ask you honestly, how do you know a satellite is in space?
Okay, all right.
If it's not
in all fairness, we can question everything.
I think you should question everything.
Why the
did you see the satellite
dedication to questioning the shape of the planet?
Because I believe it's all criminal act. NASA getting $52 million a day since the 1960s to present you with cartoons.
Well, if you were in a position to convince the world to give you $52 million a day, would you?
No, if it's deceitful and based on lies, no. Lying to children, no, I wouldn't.
You wouldn't. No. 52 million.
No amount of money.
You wouldn't. If you could convince me, to give you 52 million right now, would you? If you could.
No, I'd like to lie to children, no.
Well,
it's cool.
Right, fair enough. Well,
I mean, when you
I do quite a lot.
Well, that's a turn up to you, and I'm not judging you for that. I'm just saying my morals wouldn't allow me to do that. But when we were about 5 years old, we're taken into school. When you believe in Santa Claus and Tooth Fairy, and they tell you you live in this spinning ball. What's going around it? Now as an adult, how old are you now?
I'm 28 years of age.
So a 28-year-old independent, critically thinking adult. I'm going to ask you, and please be honest with this answer. Ask yourself if it's a program response or is it unknowing. How can water conform to the exterior of a ball?
Well, okay, so I'm actually trying to think of gravity on a small scale that I've seen with my own eyes. And I know I have seen gravity on a small scale with my own eyes.
Could you describe that example?
Okay, so I've seen some videos on YouTube of people where they're in a tank and they've had all the air sucked out and float, right?
But that's not with your own eyes, though.
On YouTube. Okay, it's not my own eyes.
Okay,
okay, you're right. It just makes sense if something's got a larger mass, you're going to be drawn, like something's going to be drawn to it.
And respectfully, how do you know that?
YouTube videos I've watched. But here we are. You're making a YouTube video.
Yes.
And you're telling people what you believe.
No, I don't have any
beliefs. Want people to think.
No. I'm just trying to raise people's awareness and question and why do they believe without any proof? Because everything you've quoted to me so far is second-hand information. No.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. But what you're telling me is second-hand information.
But what have I told you?
That the Earth is flat. In all fairness, it is what I can see.
I've not actually told you that, though. I've not told you. I want to ask you questions.
So you guys are here to have everyone question.
Yeah, question the perceived reality.
We live off.
Yes. Yeah. Question the perceived reality, and why do people believe without any proof?
Okay.
Because
and this isn't a social experiment just to see how many people just for a laugh.
No, we're not trying to convince anybody, and it's not a social experiment at all. I think one could call it that with the range of emotions that are coming back to us.
No, not emotion. Anyone that gets emotional about a planet, being around off that, must be a very emotional person about everything. So what if it's around like that?
Well, I would say
we get to live on a planet, don't we?
Yeah. I would say I get quite passionate about it because I'm being lied to. I've been lied to all my life.
You must do. To be out here, like doing, part of the billboard.
50 places in 8 weeks.
Yeah.
I'm very passionate about that.
Really passionate. What difference would it make to you to reach the world with the Earth is flat?
Well, since I've come into the subject,
now I think NASA would still get the 53 million.
Yeah, you're probably right. You're probably right. Yes. However, the fact is, that's taxpayers' money and money subsidised by the government.
Oh, come on, taxpayers' money. It's certainly
That's not the main reason. The reason they're lying to children, and that I get quite annoyed. Yeah, but place the loud, it speaks live. Oh, that's what I had to stop. And your sensors right now are telling you you're not spinning anywhere. You're on a stationary plane, but we don't listen to our sensors.
Right, it does make sense compared to how big the planet is compared to us. We shouldn't feel it, should we? We're like, no.
Well, I think we should see effects. I think we should see water swishing around at the edges.
Like, see where.
Yeah, leaves. Look at those leaves behind you. Speeding faster than a spinning bullet through space. Come on. My common sense and my sensors tell me I'm not spinning.
Look, if they're lying, they've really done a good web.
Absolutely, yeah. But that's how good brainwashing is, because it works. I had to admit I was brainwashed to believe it. I lived in a magical spinning ball.
Not for 1 second do I believe the Earth is round. Yeah, but I don't believe it's flat. Yeah, I believe it's a rock, and it's not. It can't be round. It can't be perfectly round. It might be square for all you know.
But they show you perfectly round shapes.
Oh yeah. Okay, well,
they're lying.
Yeah, they must be like. They can't be. Actually, no. Then again, over 1,000 millions and millions and millions of years. Yeah,
apparently.
Yeah, apparently.
How can we believe that though? How do we know that? How can we verify that?
Well,
why do we believe it?
It must have. It didn't, we didn't just invent rockets many years ago and shape it now. So I'm saying if it is spinning, then it must.
I'm saying it's not spinning.
Okay.
There's no evidence of it spinning, is there? Look how calm still is today.
Yeah. Oh, my girlfriend's walking off like talking to a madman. Okay.
Do you think it's good?
Okay, so from what you're saying, all right, yeah. The atmosphere protects us.
In what ways does it protect us?
From the outside of space, outer space.
But how,
sun rays.
The atmosphere is a gas.
Yeah, it is.
How can a gas coexist next to a vacuum of space without a solid barrier? Because if a burst canister of gas.
See, what I've heard is aliens think around us. That's another theory.
They may well have done. I don't know.
That is another theory, isn't it?
I don't know.
It is. Check out. It's very.
I don't.
If you listen to it long enough,
I wouldn't believe anything unless I can verify it myself.
Yeah. So myself, obviously, I can see the Earth is flat in front of us as well. I can't see from out there, can I?
No, but
I can't verify that.
You go up on an aeroplane at 35,000 feet and you see a flat horizon.
Yeah.
But they're supposed to tell you should be able to see evidence of curvature. We don't see curvature.
That's not big enough.
Well, it is. It's only 24,900 miles.
Okay, so why, if it's flat, why do we get one day?
Because
instead of spinning round like that, does it go
stationary? Doesn't move.
Does the sun move around us?
Yes. Okay. The sun and the moon are a lot closer and more localized. It's not 93 million miles away. Now, they're very small and they go around the Earth. Now imagine you're in your bedroom and the light's off, and you take a torch beam and you shine around close to it. It's not going to illuminate the whole room, is it?
Yeah.
So we believe it's a lot closer. It's more like a beam.
Right. I think you guys need to get together and do a detailed documentary on the theories.
Well, it's not theories though.
Do a detailed documentary of what you believe.
Well, I'll be making a documentary of this, but it's not a belief either. It's a self-evident truth that we're on a flat stationary plane.
Do a documentary of your self-evident truth.
Well, I have a YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Which I'll give you now.
Is it on here?
It is, but I'll give you a card.
Yeah. I may as well. I've taken some pictures of Facebook.
But there's millions of people doing experiments proving that we're not on the ball. I can see things 300 miles away, which I shouldn't be able to see on a ball. It should be 3 miles below the curvature. There's so much things that tells that we're on a flat station plane.
In all fairness, not convinced me today.
But
I will look into it.
How old? 27 to 30?
28.
Okay, you've had 28 years of that indoctrination. Yeah. I've got 5 minutes with you. I know I'm not going to convince you. But if I can make you go and look and research and questionable, then job done as far as I'm concerned. And if you can, do you have a big ego or not?
A big ego? Not really, no.
No, you don't come across as such. I think people's ego stops them from going and looking and being open-minded.
Personally, if you said the Earth was round, like, I'd argue against that just for
argument's sake.
Yeah, you know, just to say, hold on, you don't know that.
Yeah,
I would say that myself.
Yeah, that's honest of you. We don't. We have beliefs. We believe second-hand knowledge. We can't verify it for ourselves, so we have a belief. All my eyes and my senses tell me I'm flat. Everything's flat. Water's flat.
The thing is, like, from my understanding, as you said, from up high in a plane, it's not high enough. Like, that's what I think.
Yeah, but if you do the maths, it's only 24,000 miles circumference, so you have to see evidence of curvature somewhere. It's actually 8 inches per mile square the curvature is.
I've not gone into the maths that deep, but yeah, I believe we're only not even off the surface when we're in a plane.
Oh well, okay.
Yeah. Right, anyway, I've got to go chase the message.
Thanks very much, being so civil.
Have a good day.
Right, okay. Thank you.
Absolutely brilliant. Harry worked hard at communicating with that guy for a long time today. And I feel it paid off because he confirmed to Harry that he was going to go off and look into it. And I really hope he does. I really hope he does take the time out to look into it. This next clip should be a lovely, open-minded couple. So let's see if it is.
I mean, psychologically, it's really interesting when you see people's different reactions to, and when people start insulting you as being a dummy because you're questioning what they actually believe, then surely we should listen to a different opinion. I mean, the only way you can really help me in my life is to question my perceived reality and ideas and beliefs. If I just want to surround people with what I think, I'm never going to be challenged, am I? So I need you to challenge what I think, what I believe, and I need to be open to that. If I wanted to develop, and I don't want to be following a lie, do I? So I need to manage my ego and make sure it's not about my ego and be completely open and honest with myself. Now, when it came to this subject matter 4 years ago, I had to be honest with myself and admit everything I knew about the egocentric model on Earth was second-hand information and a belief system. I couldn't verify any of it myself. So then I started asking questions for proof. Now you get a gentleman like that who I consider is totally brainwashed. He's brainwashed to believe 100% and to discount anything else.
People don't use their eyes.
People don't use their eyes or trust their senses. Because as a child, that's drummed out of us. Because at 5 years old, when I believed in Santa Claus as a tooth fairy, I was taken into an educational establishment. But you live in that spinning ball, water around it. Okay. Without any critical thinking developed. So I was naive, impressionable, gullible. Of course, I'm going to believe that.
I suppose the point is with all these people who get offended by this stuff, they've never been anywhere, where you could see whether the earth is curved or not, or whatever. Yeah. So how do you really know that? I don't think the earth's flat, but I don't necessarily think it's a sphere either. It could be anything.
Yeah, well, straight away, I feel like you're open-minded. You're not so judgmental, which is great. I don't expect you to believe what I do, but the fact is that you're willing to talk about it. And that gentleman may have grandchildren and I think it's so sad that children have been brought up with that attitude. Yeah. Even if I was in a religious cult or something, to call somebody dummy or stupid because they follow something else, that's so sad for children to expose.
Hear it out.
Make your own mind up
rather than just believe everything you've been told.
And to discount without inquiry, that's ignorant because to be informed of something, we have to know both sides of the story and then discount it. I discount that because blah, blah, blah. If you discount it before you look into it, that's not very intelligent.
Well, it's like so many things like meat, dairy, fluoride in your water and your toothpaste. It's all it's good for you, but if you look it up, it's fucking bad for you. It gives you cancer.
Well, you're obviously very aware of these things, but don't you think what we're taught is completely upside down to what is true? Like, you mentioned mercury in your mouth as well, and it's aspartame, and we're all told they're good for us, but then you look into it, they're actually poisons and toxicity to our body, and that's why we get cancer, because we've got an alkaline body, we have an acidic body. And all these cancer cures out there, they're kept from us. I'm sure you know, so I'm preaching to convert it, but when you go on the cancer survival statistic list, you survive, all those figures, then when cancer comes back, because you took the radio treatment and
all the treatment causes cancer as
well.
well.
Exactly. But when it comes back at the same time and kills you, you remain on the statistical survival rate. And that's the figures they give people to sell to take the medicine.
Yeah.
Have you heard of the Gerson therapy? The Gerson therapy.
What's that one?
They've been treating cancer in the States for about 100 years. And they take in chamomile, people have gone through those treatments, and they're sent home to die. So they take their medicine and cure 85% of them. Through organic, fresh produce.
Yeah,
for over 100 years.
Yeah, we read an article from 1904, and it was saying the cure to cancer is in diet, and that you can cure cancer by changing your diet and obviously detoxing the blood and things like that.
An alkaline in the body, exercise, sunlight.
Oh, vitamin D is the cure for cancer, man.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I'm going to be here all day. I started researching that in Australia about not much cancer before the sun creams came in. Now, that's got petroleum and toxins in it. And we put that on our skin.
What's this cancer?
And that's what's causing skin cancer.
Yes.
It's toxins on your skin that give you cancer.
It goes into your bloodstream, and it blocks out the vitamin D that you need from the sun.
And then it's all the heavy metals and everything in the sun cream leaching into you.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
If you have a pure body and no toxins in your body, you will not get skin cancer. You will not get cancer. The sunburn is the toxins leaching out of your body.
You can even immunize against cancer. And people who've been looking into this stuff, they're all being murdered.
Yeah. Do you see about the 7 doctors, ballistic doctors that were killed?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, any alternative medicines, people are being put in jail. But I'm into, like this flat earth thing, I'm into primary observations rather than believing what I'm told. And it's the medical profession I started doing research. And I went through that to all other subject matters, and then came to this one, the biggest lie of all. But, it's the second biggest one. And then I heard about this cancer that if I had a good diet, which I did have, I've got, it took away my thyroid, so my metabolism doesn't work. But if you have that type of diet, because organic fruits and vegetables has an enzyme in it which protects against the harmful rays in the sun, and you can sit there all day in it and not get burnt. Now, freckles and red hair, I'll put that to test. So after I've been on a raw organic fluid diet for about half a year, I went out in the hot sun, just a pair of shorts. I'll do it for an hour. I don't burn. I used to go red and burn.
Yeah.
Anyway, I lasted going 8-9 hours that day out in the sun. I never burned. I went brown.
Yeah.
Brown, but then that's how we can test these things for doing it ourselves.
Yeah. And you have to do it.
One thing to look out with this stuff is if there's a lot of opposition to it, then it's probably real.
Yeah, absolutely. I couldn't agree more.
And a lot of things will try and present information to you in a negative way. Just read around it and look at the information. You can make your own mind up. Know that this stuff.
And your body knows when something's good for you, really, when you feel well. And like if I'm on a diet of raw, fresh, I feel alive and alert. If it's cooked, heavy, saturated. But this, I know it may sound a bit mad to you, and it did to most people until they research it and they come up with all this information and natural observations. That it's impossible to live in a spinning ball, water going around it. I find that quite an insult to my intelligence that water can fall 6 years in a ball. I thought that at 5 years old. It's absolutely madness to believe that because it's never been proven. And science should be demonstrable, repeatable, and measurable. You can't reproduce a working model of the ball, water going around it. It's mad. And this guy here, Robert Simmons, he creates all these blue marble shots. And you can listen to him on a radio show saying they're not photographs, they're Photoshop. Astronauts are underwater when they're supposed to be in space. They're in harnesses when they're supposed to be in the space station. It's all an illusion.
I've read a lot about that stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know. I wouldn't necessarily say I don't believe it, but I think it's quite hard when your entire life you've been told this is a way, do you know what I mean? And then you say to someone, oh, this and they're like, oh, you're just mad or something. But I don't completely dismiss it. And if you look at ancient civilizations and things like that, a lot of their theories and what they spoke about was that the earth was flat.
And so colonialization went in to come here into the school here. They walk into the school and they come back out. It's a globe. It's exactly the same in natural medicines. They've got all these cures in natural medicines. And they come out into the school and they come out and say, oh, a pill for my ills. They're eradicating. They're eradicating all natural knowledge.
It's sad.
Yeah.
Well, this is why in places like Africa, destroyed.
Absolutely.
The history books that they've been hard to see.
Absolutely.
You can go there and see giant mega structures. Which fuck knows how old they are. They have technology to make these things.
Yeah, you're obviously into natural health then.
Yeah, I do a lot of reading on holistic health and plant-based nutrition, crystal healing, things like that.
Well, that's how I started out, nutrition and what's plant-based diets. Can I ask you if you've heard of Dan Tolman?
I'm really bad with names.
He's just off the top of all that. He's amazing. If you go on YouTube and listen to him, guy in a cowboy hat, but he's lived with indigenous tribes all his life, and he's learned all the knowledge, especially related to health and medicine. And he goes through every vegetable. He said, it's a stick of celery. So the celery shaped like a bone, full of sodium, breaks like a bone. Tomato, it's good for vitamin C. Tomato full of vitamin C, good for your heart. Cut in half, it's got 4 chambers. A walnut cut in half is good. So they're all specific things made for your body. So all makes sense.
Yeah. We've had a lot of reading and stuff like that.
And I think all that information is getting suppressed, Like with vitamin D, the safe unit to take is 400 IU, it says in the bottle. I take up to 60,000 a day.
About how the recommendation is so low compared, and all vitamins and that, the minimum thing is so low compared to what we're supposed to be having.
And to keep out of the sun, cover up, hide from the sun. The sun's a friend. Slowly killing.
You look at all these civilizations with the grace.
And if you want to watch the rest of that interaction, go for Bristol's live feed on John Smith Globalized channel today. This next interaction is in where is that one? That is right about now at 1 hour 45 minutes into Harry's feed from today.
Have you come across it before?
I certainly have.
Oh, you certainly have.
Oh yeah, it's all over the internet.
Yes, it is. Do you think it's growing? Do you think there's a lot more of it? Are you coming across more than you did before?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Have you ever wondered why it's growing?
No, not really. I don't think really it matters to me.
What if the truth was that we don't live in a spinning ball and we're teaching all the children in school a lie, that you're actually living in a flat stationary plane?
I think it's more important about the content, about what's going on in the world now, rather than necessarily the purpose.
Would that not constitute something going on now if the Earth was not actually a spinning ball floating in space?
Maybe, I don't know. I'm more interested in what people are experiencing socially rather than.
I can ask you, what are you experiencing right now? Are you trusting your senses? Do you think you're spinning faster than spinning with it?
I wouldn't say I necessarily trust my senses, but I think it's better to trust your senses than to not trust your senses.
Yeah, because your senses kept you alive for the day.
Exactly.
But the authorities are trying to tell you you're spinning 1,000 miles an hour. But if we look around, we don't feel anything. The leaves are still, the water's still. And when you're 5 years old, you believe in Santa Claus and Tooth Fairy. They'll take you into an educational establishment to tell you you live in this magical spinning ball water around it. But now, as an adult with your own independent thinking, I would ask you, how do you think water can conform to the exterior of a ball?
I don't know. I'm a philosophy student. I'm not a.
I love philosophy. Can I ask you a philosophical question? Not right or wrong answer. No, it's just about your own thinking. The thoughts that you have, are they your own thoughts?
Yes, I believe so, yeah. but they are based on my sense perception, and I trust my sense perception.
Don't you think thoughts are conditioned?
Yeah, a lot of them probably are, but that's the human experience as a whole for me. It's just we are.
Yeah. Yes. So how can you discern if the thought you're having right now is not conditioned or is your own thought?
I don't know. I just don't think the world being round of that changes my experience for me at the moment in time where I am.
Yeah. Well, it couldn't change your experience that you're not actually spinning when you think you are. The reality is you're not spinning, but we believe we are. We believe in an illusionary world that we are not. We are spinning, and water can flow around the ball, and people are flying through space when they're not. So that's our perception of reality, but it's not factual. So we're not living in reality if we think there's something.
Anything in reality is real.
Good question. Do you think it's self-evident truth?
No, question everything.
Oh yeah, question everything, but don't you think there are self-evident truth? Like you and I are two entities here talking. Is that a self-evident truth or not? So why?
We only guess from our sense of perception.
Are you guessing?
And that's how we make sense of things.
What about
it feels real.
It feels real. But what about common sense and natural observation? It's telling you there's two entities here talking.
Yeah.
Now the whole world could walk on past and they'd all agree to that, would they not? You think somebody would disagree there are two entities here? Sometimes we see from the past or from the word rather than the actual. Sometimes we want to see what may be or what might be, but we don't notice the actual because we overcomplicate things.
What is the reason why people would say that the Earth is round rather than flat?
I'll try and answer that, but I'll try and answer that. Although I'm not the one lying to you, so.
Oh no, I'm just wondering. Like,
I can't really know. But NASA's getting $52 million per day, and I've had that since the 1960s, to present us with cartoons and CGI images. Also, I think they're hiding further land. I think Earth is far bigger, but we're not allowed to go exploring because there's treaties set out that you're not allowed to go that far independently to explore. So we're kept in this ball, which we think is a ball, and surrounded by space, but it's not. It's a flat plane surrounded by further land. So we've been socially conditioned or brainwashed to believe we live in this ball since the age of 5. But did you see the film The Matrix? Have you heard about it?
Yes.
So it's like I'm offering you a red pill right now that this world is illusionary, space travel, water going around balls, space balls flying through space. It's not real, but we think it is, but that's not reality. And how can we know anything if we don't know our own minds?
We can't know anything really. We just got to trust that we do. Otherwise, we won't stay sane.
Well, okay.
Anyway,
we'll leave it there.
Let's go to work.
Could I give you my YouTube channel?
Yeah, sure.
Have a nice day at work, and thanks for your time.
Good interaction with that one. I agree. She's got a certain look on her face. I feel like she's got the look on her face of, oh crap, my life's possibly been a lie. This guy's talking some realness right here. Poker face. To me, it looks like she's actually trying to process what Harry's saying, and to her, it sounds so absurd. What he's saying, she can't process it properly. I don't know about anybody else that goes out there onto the streets, but that's a look I've seen before. And I highly doubt on not, not come across it again. The next clip I'd like to play is 154. It's just slightly further on. And I just think this is a really, really good example of it staying civilized. I think it's the best word I'll use. If it's the clip I think it is. Yeah. Yeah.
What's these bad people?
These people. I wouldn't say no.
It's okay if I film my YouTube channel?
Yeah.
Okay, right. Welcome.
So if you've got a question, do you want to answer it? No, you answer it.
Okay. Then how come if you fly all the way around the world, you can get back to your original position?
Yeah, that's a really good question, and that was one of my questions when I started looking into it. But let's just say the three of you are all the continents on Earth, including Australia, South America, UK, I'm getting in my boat now, or I can go on a plane and I'll start circumnavigating you. Going all the way around the continents. Oh, excuse me. Sorry, big pardon. All the way around the continents. Oh, look where I am. I'm back to where I started. I did that in a flat plane, didn't I?
Then how come they can get to the very end of Russia? What's the other country?
America?
No.
Alaska.
Alaska?
Oh.
The opposite side.
Yeah.
Before we get to your second question, can you respond to what I just did?
It's not fun.
No, but did I not prove to you that you can circumnavigate something like the Earth on a flat plane? You can run around your neighbourhood and come back to where you started. It's not a ball, is it?
No.
So you circumnavigated your neighbourhood and get back to where you started on a flat plane.
So that is true. So you can do that. It doesn't necessarily mean that is improved. It's either flat.
Absolutely. I'm just making the point that we can circumnavigate things on a flat plane. I'm not trying to say therefore it's a ball or a flat plane. I'm just making a point that you don't only circumnavigate things on a ball. We can do that on a flat point as well as a ball. Now, did you know that nobody's actually circumnavigated the Earth between north and south? It's always east to west. There's one man who claimed to have done recently, Rudolf Hines, a British Antarctic explorer, but there's no real evidence or proof of a continual trek around between the North and South Pole. Sorry, big one. Now, plane. Sorry, it's skateboards and wheels. She doesn't like. She won't bite you. Yeah. Now, planes and boats don't sail in a straight line. If I go on a boat around the world, I'll go around the continents. I won't go on a straight course. And airplanes are the same. There's no reason for them to fly long distance round. Oh, Tara, come on. There's no reason for them to fly a longer distance. But the fuel economy, they will fly as short as possible distance. Now you have planes flying from South America to Australia. They fly up to Dubai or Europe and then fly down to Australia. Now, on the flat Earth models, although I don't advocate the models because I really don't know, flat Earth models, those flights are a straight line. There was one emergency landing where a plane was actually flying from South America over to, I think it was Indonesia or something, I can't remember where. They had an emergency, there was a lady pregnant and had to do an emergency landing, and they landed in Greenland. Because that's what was below them on a straight line map.
Okay, so we are saying that there has been a flight which its trajectory was out of sync with the globe.
Yes, yeah, well, no, it works in a globe, but you'd have to go like pyramid shape and fly back down again on the globe. But on a flat plane, that's just a straight line, a direct straight line.
So how is that evidence for the? Because I think you're suggesting that's evidence for being flat.
No, it's just apparently evidence that's showing why on earth would it fly up there and then back down again. It's just showing it's more economical and more direct than the flat earth path. It makes no sense. Flight paths. So
that's fine.
I know that doesn't prove anything. I'm just making a point that.
That's.
So I can stand here and go through a lot of points that when your two daughters, and yourself, 5 years old, were taken into the education establishment. While I believe the Santa Claus is a tooth fairy, they tell me I live on this globe model with water going around it. I may have a couple of questions, and gravity's thrown back at me, but because my critical thinking had developed at that age, they could have said cabbage. I would have accepted it because I was naive, gullible, young, impressionable. So I believe that wholeheartedly. But that's never been proven. There's no proof that we live in a globe with water going around it. And I would ask you now, as an adult with independent critical thinking, are you going to answer me with a program response or a knowing? How can water?
Ask you the first-hand response.
How can water conform to the steer of a ball?
Because gravity is basically all the matter that's beneath it. So if you basically take two things, each of them will independently go which matter is beneath it. If there is a different angle, that matter walks beneath the largest amount of that matter is at that particular angle.
Yeah, that's what I was told at school as well. But I would have to ask you, how do you know that for yourself?
How do I know that for myself?
Yeah.
Well,
nobody knows. That's my daughter said everything's a theory.
Well, not everything's a theory. If I could just point out what's not a theory, there are 4 entities here talking right now. That's not self-evident truth.
Yeah, I can't see one. So
for you, okay, for you at the moment.
But that's the basis of all experimentation.
Well,
you're talking about evidence basis.
Well, there's 2 people here facing. There's 2 entities here facing each other, talking. Yeah. That's a self-evident truth.
Yeah.
We don't need to theorize about it, and we don't need a belief because it's self-evident.
There was all sorts of philosophical questions there about existence, but let's not get into that.
Oh, no, let's not get into it. But we'll overcomplicate what is in front of us. The reality is there's 2 entities here. Yeah. We can touch, feel, smell each other. Yeah.
But you're talking about primary evidence.
Yes, primary.
I have had a primary evidence source, which indicates to me that the world has a curvature.
I'd love to hear it.
Well, being on an airplane at about 20,000 feet seeing it.
Okay, that's absolutely fantastic. Now, I asked people this. I've interviewed pilots. I fly a paraglider myself. I've never seen any curvature. Now, we're flying at 35,000 feet. We should see evidence of curvature.
Oh, I have seen it.
Okay. Now, I'm not going to discount what you said to see, but can you understand where I'm coming from if I tell you I was swimming with the Loch Ness Monster last week?
Yeah, I think that's. Yeah, the thing the difficulty I have with that is it's not you're taking a fanciful example.
Okay.
Yeah, versus one which is
all right.
Kind of fundamental.
I jumped 7 feet over a pole yesterday. No, well, exactly. Why would I believe you if you said you seen curvature without any evidence?
Yeah, and that's the basis of science. So the whole basis of science is that we establish a number of facts. We take some experiments. They might be primary, secondary sources. We then have the whole set of the science is based around peer review. And then there's the idea of repetition, of us proving and disproving, and having a working theory.
So if scientifically speaking, if you wanted to prove to me you've seen the curvature, you've got next time and at least take a photograph of that, wouldn't you? Everybody I ask who's claimed to see the curve, I've never taken a photograph of it. In fact,
I probably have it. I'm not going to get it now, but I bet I could.
But pilots who I interview say they don't. But I interviewed one pilot in the street in Stirling 2 weeks ago, and he said, "But I'm a pilot." I said, "All right, so you know you've not seen a curve." "No, I've seen it," he said. I said, "And have you ever taken a photograph of that?" And he's the first person ever to say, "Yeah, I did." I said, "Oh, did you?" "I've got it on my phone." "Oh, so fantastic." Now, I'm 110% convinced he doesn't have that on his phone. So I said, "Yeah, show me. I don't want to be wrong. So if you can see the curvature, stop this madness of me thinking how smart flat and show me." So he's got his phone out and he showed me the photograph. It's from the cockpit. And taking a photo like that. It's at an angle, but it's completely flat on the horizon. I said, "Oh, could you point out to me where the curve is?" Because look, I've got a straight line here. That's completely straight. And he went, "Oh, yeah. So he never had
the other photos, they're all made up of this. All the other photos of the Earth taken from higher altitude.
Well, we have pictures there of high altitude balloons with amateur cameras. We put a GoPro up, which has a fisheye lens, a curved thing, and you also put a wide angle camera and a level camera. Now, they show different curvatures. Some show a straight horizon, and the GoPros show a curvature. And NASA used GoPro lenses which curve the horizon. I would say yes, they're all doctored because no matter what height you go to, the horizon is always at your eye level. Now, if I was on a ball and I ascended really high, that ball would fall below my feet, would it not?
One sort of final point, just a question is, if it is a flat, what we're saying is it's a flat.
Not literally. Yeah, there's valleys and oceans.
Yeah, it's basically a disc.
I don't know. I've not been to that edge of a disc, so I don't know.
Well,
could be square, could be infinite. I don't know.
But it's flat.
Flat. Sorry?
How long did it take you to work out or think you have enough evidence of it? Think the world's flat?
Well, I already researched things. I researched moon landings, and there's just too much fakery there for me to believe that happened. If you watch a famous documentary on YouTube called "A Funny Thing Happened on the Way to the Moon," to show you how they completely faked everything, including astronauts. Now, okay, so I didn't believe in the moon landings. Then I fly drones, and they're supposed to be linked up to satellites. I have to get 4 green lights for my drone to work. And sometimes if I was in a valley or I was in the middle of nowhere, I wouldn't get the green lights on. But then my mobile phone wouldn't work either. So I'm thinking, is that really space or is that land-based signal? So I started researching for satellites in space. That's 4 years ago. I'm still defining any real footage of a satellite in space, because all you can find, if you Google it yourself, you'll see CGI pictures. You won't see any footage of a satellite in space. It's all cartoons or CGI. Then I started research.
And if you want to see the rest of that clip, go ahead and watch Harry's feed from today, which is the Bristol live feed. The next clip I'm going to play for you all. I think this person was already open to Flat Earth, if I remember correctly. So just going to spam back here for a sec. That would be Robin in that bit there, but let's just move on a bit here. Okay, let's see.
Good girl. Hi, Jason. Pleased to meet you. How are you?
Yeah, very well.
Oh, good. Do you mind being on camera? Oh, fantastic.
Nice to see your face. I've been watching a lot of your videos recently.
Oh, thanks very much for that, man. How long have you been into the subject yourself?
1 year.
Yeah. And have you travelled far today?
No. I knew you were going to be in town. I have not passed by recently.
Okay.
Come specifically to say hello, really.
That's fantastic. We just love meeting fellow flat earthers. And, I think for other people watching as well, you know, they can see, especially if they're quite lonely and they don't know any flat earthers in real life, and see all these people coming out and thinking, oh, this is growing. There's a lot more flat earthers out there.
Yeah,
so it's
very encouraging.
Yeah, encouraging and motivational, I think.
Yeah, you've been on the tour pretty much most of the days then, yeah?
Yeah, every day, yeah.
Yeah.
Doesn't appear that on my face.
Well, you do look like this. You've been a bit battle-hardened by this point of the game.
Yeah. So
it's nearly over, I believe, yeah?
Yeah, Friday's the last day, and then Saturday we're all meeting up to celebrate the end of the tour in London. So if you're available to come for that, that'll be fantastic.
I'm very busy this weekend, but yeah, no, I knew you were getting a bit of a gathering together on Saturday in London. Press and stuff involved as well.
Yeah, well, hopefully, yeah. And they said they're coming along, so we'll see where that takes us. But you know, I'm more interested in people like yourself, the organic people on the street coming together, showing a united front, basically. And when people see that, or when you just see that, think, oh, it's not one or two people. It's
totally.
I mean,
this is like a way to make people feel more comfortable about, like, sort of feeling like good about their own sort of, you know, sort of shy ideas. It's like, oh wow, I'm quite sort of on my own, or thinking this way in an isolatory kind of manner, not some sort of Icelandic YouTube world.
Yeah, some people ask me why I film everything. It's for that reason. For other people to see that this is growing. And there's an initial respect there when you meet the fellow, because you know they've been brave enough to stand up and say, oh, I don't buy this bullshit. And they've done research properly. So, yeah, big respect to you, man.
I follow all the big hitters, I guess, over the years.
Sorry. Yeah, she doesn't like bicycles.
Yeah.
So do you have any in your own family or friends who are also into
not really, no. I mean, I've got a bunch of friends who are open-minded enough to at least consider sort of a lot of the things I try to present to them. I don't try to force feed anyone these days, more like planting seeds.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just little stepping stones, essentially.
Yeah. You don't want to turn people off. It's just the wee stone. It's great if
you don't want to overwhelm them either.
Too much research. It's great if they start initiate a conversation. It's easier. So we've been really happy the turnout in Bristol has been really good. Yeah. I've loved it actually.
This is pretty open-minded sort of city.
Very liberal. Yeah, it's brilliant.
But I'm going to go along and see join Robin.
Yeah. Oh, brilliant. Yeah, fantastic.
It'll be the first time I've kind of come along to one of the group meetings.
Good.
So I'm quite looking forward to it.
Yeah, the more people do that, the better. Because as soon as you walk in, like you're probably used to people looking at you with the fluids there, but you've got a group of people who are nodding at everything you say, and even finishing off your sentences. You know, it's just great. I'm going to mingle. Jason, thank you so much for coming down.
What a lovely man. On to the next interaction now. What a lovely, lovely man that guy was.
What do you think about subject matter that people are actually claiming that we may not be living on a spinning ball?
As far as I'm aware, there's not been any solid to say that the world is flat.
Right.
I personally believe that the world is a globe. It intrigues me.
Yeah. And may I ask you why you believe it's a globe?
Because of like the horizon existing.
Is that not flat?
Well, yeah, but the fact that you can only see to a limited point suggests a curve off, doesn't it?
So if I'm looking back at the mainland and I'm maybe 20 miles away on an island, miles, 200 miles long,
yeah,
it's completely flat level.
I mean, it appears level to like the naked eye, but that's because it's such a large sphere. Like if you had a tiny speck of dust on a basketball to that speck of dust moving forward, it would probably be flat.
The official curvature chart of the Earth, after 3 miles, you should be a 73-inch drop. And after 20 miles, should be about 360 or feet drop. So I should see curvature at either end of that horizon. But that's never visual. And if I go up to 35,000 feet in an aeroplane, it's a flat horizon at my eye level as the beach. Now, if I was on a huge ball and I ascended really high, that ball would fall below my horizon.
Okay. I mean, if the Earth is flat, then wouldn't anyone involved in kind of any pilots, any naval officers, they all have to kind of agree to keep that a secret? That would be like quite a lot of people.
Yeah, not really, because nobody gets that far and they don't travel beyond the continents. So they travel around the continents, and nobody's ever circumnavigated the Earth between north and south. They always go around the continents. Now, if you were all the continents on Earth and the countries, I could circle you now and come back here to where I started. I've just circumnavigated you, but I'm not on the ball. I'm on the flat plane. Aeroplanes fly level using a gyroscope and artificial horizon. Now, you're flying 10 hours to India, you fly up into space if you're on the ball.
I mean, but the pull of gravity keeps you within the atmosphere.
But that's what we're told, but that can't be proven. Now, science should be demonstrable, repeatable, and measurable.
Yes.
Otherwise, it's a belief system. It's second-hand information.
Okay.
So we accept that as fact, but it's never been proven.
Right.
We accept the fact that gravity holds water to a ball, but that's never been proven either. When you're 5 years old and we both believe in Santa Claus, we're taken into the classroom, told you live in this spinning ball Earth with water behind it. Okay. And we believe that without any evidence. So we grow up thinking that, never really critically questioning that. But now as an adult, I'm asking you, how can water perform to steer the ball without responding in a programmed fashion to gravity?
Well, I mean, I don't personally think it's programmed, so like my response would be gravity. I suppose. What is your take on gravity with the Earth being flat? Does everything drop vertically down? Like...
No, that's what we're programming with. But your body weight, don't mean to be personal, same mind.
We all have body weight.
You're heavier than the atmosphere, so you're not going to float away anywhere.
Right.
A helium balloon is lighter than the atmosphere, so it will rise. Now, before the theory of gravity came into place, which has never been proven, buoyancy and density explain why things fall and drop, and still do. We don't need the theory of gravity. It's never been proven. There's nothing holding you to the ground. When an apple drops from a tree, it's because it's grown in weight, and the density of that apple is too heavy for the wee acorn to hold. Now, if she doesn't like bicycles, so if it was gravity pulling that apple down, why does it not pull all the apples down? Gravity is selective.
Right. Well, there's also the force of the stem of the apple holding it to the tree. That's like
The apple gets too heavy, too large, the stem, and when it's ripe and it produces, it drops.
But is that not just the force of gravity on the apple being greater than the force of the stem?
Yes, it could be, but then if I was asking for proof of that, science cannot demonstrate that.
Okay.
We can, absolutely can. Okay, good. Could I talk to you after that? Yes. We get a lot of people who study science, so therefore they think, this I've been to university myself, but usually with the higher the academic achievement, the greater resistance to new information being taken on board. But water cannot perform to steer balls and has never been proven to exist. Science should be demonstratable, repeatable.
In terms of the like repeated scientific demonstration, like I'm curious about what tests you have that are repeatable that have shown that the Earth is.
Although this is a photograph and it can be doctored, I've done more tests, but the longest photograph taken now is 273 miles. You can see the horizon through a photo lens. Now, according to the official curvature of the Earth's chart, that horizon should be at least 3 miles below. But now we can see further and further lands, impossible on a ball Earth. We can go down the beach and we can agree on a shape of the horizon, or it's going over the curvature because we can only see the top of it. Right. And I'll give you my zoom camera.
Next clip coming up.
Are you right, Leaflet?
How are you?
I'm very well. How are you?
Yeah, good, thank you.
Take a leaflet?
I will take a leaflet. I just wanted to say that I don't agree or disagree with you, but I think it's really good what you're doing. And you probably had so much shit today, haven't you? A lot of people really disagreeing with you.
Surprisingly, Bristol.
Really? Good.
You're quite right. You have.
I walked past and I just saw a lot of people disagreeing with you, and I thought I went to come over.
It's been one of the better days today.
Good.
Yeah, and thank you for that, because in a free democratic society, which is supposed to be, we should listen. We should allow people to express themselves. As long as they're not offending you.
Well, exactly. I just wanted to come and give you some
Thank you for saying that.
Have a lovely day.
Thank you. Bye. That's lovely.
Yeah.
Yeah, what time do we have?
She was a breath of fresh air. When I watched that today, she came along literally like a breath of fresh air to me. I hope everyone else felt that as well. It was just nice to see someone saying something positive, even though they might not have agreed with what was being said. I felt like it was incredibly positive. Straight into this one.
Well, maybe I can ask this young lady here.
Yes, you can. Would you like anything? And could I ask you a little question on what you're looking at on my YouTube channel? Yeah, well, you're not looking at anything now. It's a bit. We're questioning the validity of living on a spinning ball water ground. And do you believe that's what you live on?
No, it's a bit.
The sphere. Yeah. I say, come on, but what's around the ball? How's that happen? No. At 5 years old, we were told that we believe in Santa Claus and toothpick. But now, as an adult, critical thinking, water around the ball, it's an insult to my intelligence. They believe the water's flowing around the ball, and there are people walking upside down to me, and a passenger plane could take the seatbelts off, fly around the ball. Yeah, it's a fairy story.
Yeah.
And people are walking around laughing at me, questioning that. It's madness. That's how brainwashing works. We were all brainwashed to believe that. It cannot be proven. Zero gravity's never been proven.
So what do you think it is?
Well, it's not a thing. I know it's flat. It's level. All your senses right now are telling you you're not spinning.
Yeah.
The authority will say, oh, you're spinning 1,000 miles an hour. 67 around the sun. Millions of miles around the galaxy. Okay. It's ludicrous.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah. And like science should be demonstrated, repeatable, measurable. They cannot reproduce the working model of the ball. What we remember. The curvature is never seen. You've never seen the curvature, have you? No. Have you flown?
Yeah.
Oh, 35,000 feet generally we're flying next. And the official curvature chart there, we should see every curvature.
Yeah.
It's never been seen. You've never seen bendy water, have you? No. Well, there should be a huge lump of ocean between here and America. This water's always flat, level, rise level, it never conforms to exterior shape. But these are all fairy stories. What do you think?
So why do you think that? Why do you think they say that then? Why do you think they say that it's all evident?
Well, it's about containment and control, like animals in the zoo. The animals, safari parks think they're free, they're fed, they're looked after, but they don't know about all this other land now. It's the same with us. There's far more land than we've been told by. So we think space is out there, so we're not going to look. There's far more land. Let's just say one of these was the Earth. All these other squares they get from you. And NASA gets $52 million a day to send us to cartoons and CGI images, pretending they're going to space. It's an illusion. We deal with illusions rather than facts. I mean, you've watched the film Matrix. I'm giving you a red pill right now, but some people aren't ready to take it because they can't believe they've been brainwashed. If I went to a cult, religious cult, said you've been brainwashed, no. That's exactly what these people who believe in the ball do. Well, some of them, some are open to the possibility. When I say, have you been brainwashed? They go, no. I know they have been brainwashed. But when I ask that question, somebody says, well, in a world full of lies, deceit, spin, propaganda, social conditioning, I may well be brainwashed. Then I know they're open-minded and maybe aware of it. But since someone's defensive, no, they're brainwashed.
I wouldn't have said I would use it either way. Like Roxanne, I've said like before to people like, you know what I mean? Because you feel it, it's really.
But you have to be open to possibilities. You're not brainwashed. You're brainwashed, not open to any other.
I could possibly believe that what you're saying. Yeah, no, I could, yeah.
Well, the thing is, we don't have to believe it. It's self-evident truth. You know, you can see land 300 miles away now with modern camera lenses that you should be able to see because they're below the horizon. I mean, do you honestly believe that if I'm flying on an aeroplane, which flies with an artificial horizon and a gyroscope, so you can fly level, you take seatbelt off, your liquid freshness level, you know you're flying straight. Now, you fly straight for 10 hours on a ball, you fly up in space with it. We're supposed to be diving down a ball. You're underneath it. Come on, God. At 5 years old, we buy that. But as an adult, because we're thinking to believe something like that without any evidence. If you're on the International Space Station and you came back from Earth and you use the telescope, you would have to see planes flying around that ball at every conceivable position, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Right, that's never been shown. Never been shown. Because it's impossible. Well, we live in a flat station saying and the good thing is, millions and millions of people are waking up each day now and becoming aware of this, realizing that all they had was a belief. Second-hand knowledge, nothing primary knowledge.
So what does it do about that?
Well, what we're doing now, we're campaigning to raise awareness and to hold NASA accountable for the fraud and the criminal lie. And see these children walk past you, you know, nobody talk, lie to you, they live in this magical fairy spinning ball, space ball, water.
Interesting.
Can I give you my YouTube channel?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Thank you very much.
Absolutely brilliant. And for my final clip from Harry's feed today, this is right at the end. And if I'm right, this is let's just politely say he got triggered, okay? We'll just politely leave it there and say he got triggered. And I think that plays it around there. 358, 85.
Everywhere I see you, no, it's not me. It's a self-evident truth.
What degree you got, mate?
Because water is flat, level, and does not perform. Hey, pardon?
Science degree,
and why do I need a science degree? To ask questions.
You're claiming that the Earth is flat.
So,
years and years of scientists. So we've watched a couple of YouTube videos. You think you fucking know everything. So
why are you swearing?
PhD in science.
So why are you swearing?
You're pissing me off already, man. I can't
because I have a different opinion. Because I have a different opinion to you. You're getting pissed off.
It's not a different opinion, mate.
So I
wrong. Your preachers are just completely wrong.
Well, I think you're wrong.
They're not scientific experiments. They're not peer-reviewed papers.
They are peer-reviewed. Research. You don't even know who they are, and yet you're dismissing them. Is that scientific?
Yeah, but I know.
Is that a scientific process? You're dismissing thing without inquiring into it. I'm telling you, these are peer-reviewed.
I've argued with people.
Okay, who are they then? Tell me who they are.
Just people in there like you, if you know everything.
I don't know everything. I know nothing. That's why I'm asking. I've asked you to name the 5 scientific experiments that prove the Earth doesn't move, and you don't even know about them.
Name every single scientific experiment that proves the Earth is
wrong. There isn't one.
I got a shot.
Even though it's a different opinion, you're very respectful. Thank you.
I think he thought everyone stood there, agreed with him, and then he actually had to take a moment to breathe it all in and realise that not everyone was as triggered as him. That was Jason on that guy's channel.
Oh. Can I ask you a question for my YouTube channel? Good. It's just I'm very interested in the psychology of people's reactions. People are very cordial and people are very volatile when they see something like this. And I'm wondering, where are you, Spectrum?
I'm not at either end of that spectrum. I find it. Yes, I have. Yeah. We'll have a proper conversation. I found it interesting that your reaction was so. I'm insulted by it. I've studied science all my life. I now work in air quality research. We look at air quality. It's insulting to me. I can't hold my temper. It's like arguing with someone who says the world was great 2,000 years ago. They're blind to science, and they think, but so isn't it okay for people to have their own belief? Not to stand there and preach and try and make people believe in something that isn't real science. But that's the beauty of free speech. You don't have to believe it, do you? You have that choice. Yeah. I just find it interesting. This guy said, man, these guys stay really calm. I just find it interesting. This guy said, man, these guys stay really calm, and that's how they work. Because people like me get so wound up by it, because they've actually put our lives into science and research. There you go. So I get wound up by it. Yeah, and I hear that, but for me, I work in a field which is neither. I work with people, and often what we're taught is to rely on science, which is bollocks. You know, but I have to accept peer-reviewed scientific research.
Yes,
well said.
I agree with that, especially when it comes to
social sciences. There is a lot of opinion and something which can be directly observed, like the shape of the earth, and then has much to say. Like I said, I'm more than happy to sit down with you and like. It's best to start with just one thing. So this I agree with you. There are dozens and dozens of videos, amateur videos, like shaky people film it very shakily from numerous different locations. You know, that's and they're uploaded it to YouTube. So I'm more than happy to sit down and look at those and talk about what that mission was and what it involves.
But was somebody not just quoting? You see a couple of YouTube videos. Is that not what you're quoting? Watching YouTube videos? Is that primary evidence? Watching something on the screen?
Primary evidence is your second-hand copies. So we have to see it on the phone they were recorded on originally. That would be the primary evidence.
Or see it for your own eyes, then you can validate it for yourself rather than believing something you see on the screen. So today it's green screen technology. We can show you anything on the screen. Would you agree with that?
Not really, no. I mean, but I think it's possible to tell. To make really, really good fake video, CGI, it's extremely expensive.
$52 million a day they get.
That wouldn't cover it. That wouldn't cover the hours and hours that you would need.
And the girl since 1960. $52 million a day.
But think about it, there must be. So who is producing all this fake video?
Well, I don't know. With DARPA. Could you?
It's still the last Avengers movie.
Let's start with DARPA.
The credits at the end. If you watch, there are like dozens of companies, digital effects artists. Like it's like 5 minutes of hundreds of people. So. And that's for just 1 hour of special effects.
Okay, right.
So you're not sort of thinking.
But I've not explored this gentleman's thinking because I've talked to you quite a lot.
Good luck.
Yeah. You know, the psychology of things also really interests me, and why people believe certain things and why they don't believe them. Yeah. I think people believe a lot of things which is second-hand knowledge. I think irrelevant of the subject matter. It doesn't matter what the subject matter is. I think people will believe things without evidence, without proof. And I wonder why people do that.
I'm not sure. I think there's a lot of investment there's a lot of credence in peer-reviewed stuff.
expertise, which is boiled down. So an expert by definition is someone that works solely on one specific, works towards one specific outcome, and then becomes the expert in that field or that area. Irrespective of all the other contributing factors that can change the variables, all the other variables. And I think there's so much heavy reliance on expertise that it discounts variations. Variables.
I don't know if you remember, in the 60s, 50s, doctors came on the television and were advertisements, cigarettes are best for your lungs. So that was expertise.
Can I ask a question? How do you explain the Coriolis effect?
But I really don't want to get in the conversation.
But how do you explain the Coriolis effect, which is, do you know what the Coriolis effect is?
I really don't want to get in that conversation.
Of circular weather systems. No, I'm not being rude now. I calm down now. I realise. But how do you explain the Coriolis effect, which is the basis of all circular weather systems around the globe, based upon an orbiting planet on a spinning on axis? How do you explain that?
Well, I've spoken to 4 long-range snipers. We're supposed to take it into consideration.
No, it's not my question. It's not my question. I'm not from my snipers. So how do you explain the Coriolis effect?
I can't explain it if I don't think it exists.
You don't know what the Coriolis effect is. So do you believe in hurricanes?
Well, it's not that I believe in hurricanes. I don't believe in anything unless I can verify it for myself.
Hurricane? You don't believe in hurricanes?
No, I see things whirling around and people telling me there's a hurricane.
You just don't believe anything at all. Do you believe in global warming, man-made global warming? Do you believe in that?
Well, it's a very contentious issue. I think global warming.
97% of world scientists.
You're not even letting me speak. You're talking over me. You ask me a question, then you talk over me.
Right.
You asked me what was the question on global warming?
Do you believe global warming is created by industry, created by man?
No.
You don't. So I'm just struggling how you would explain the Coriolis effect, which is the basis of all weather systems, which is based upon a spinning globe on an axis in an orbit.
Well, I also know that they control the weather through weather modification.
Don't chemtrails there.
I know the spraying the sky with something.
What, out of planes?
Yes.
I think that's real, dear.
Absolutely. Out of drone planes, yeah.
I spent a lot of my life studying air pollution, air quality.
But when you agree that if it's jet fuel, it evaporates after 30 seconds.
Right?
Jet fuel evaporates after 30 seconds to a minute.
In what level of the atmosphere, then?
Well,
you've got more,
it will always evaporate whatever level it goes at different lengths and different times.
I think you guys believe in this because you're completely impossible to argue. I think you're peddling absolute pseudoscience. I think it's an insult to science. I think you should pack up your stuff. You should go home. I think it's a complete insult. So it's really shit to meet you, mate. That's really awesome.
Yeah, ending on a sour note, but yeah, I think I'll pack up now.
And on that note, that's the end of the clips for today. So now let me do that and do that. And turn it on with a bit of luck. Sorry, guys. Okay, hopefully you can still hear me with a bit of luck. The chat room could let me know if they can still hear me. That is the end of the clips for this evening. I'm just about to go back on there. Press stop. And with a bit of luck, I'll be back. So today was Bristol. That was all of the clips I had from Bristol. I'm so sorry it took so long to get through them all, but as I said, there was a lot of clips to get through. So a few other bits of information I want to give you. Obviously, I've said in the chat room already, the guys are going to be in Bath tomorrow. Robin's going to be out with them as well. So I put all of the links to the channels in the description for Harry, Jason and Robin. If you haven't subscribed to those channels already, I strongly suggest you do so. Click the bell so you're notified when any of them go live. I've also Right. Got some information on the end of tour event on Saturday. Once I've got through all of this information, I'll go into the chat room. It's just quite a bit of information. So, as you may already know, we've got the end of tour event that's going to happen on Saturday, November the 3rd. That event is going to be in London. It is between 4 p.m. and 7 p.m. It will be at Villiers High School. All of this information, by the way, is in the description, but I thought I'll just talk you through it. So it'll be at Villiers High School on Boyd Avenue in Southall, London. The postcode for that is UB13BT. I did mention this earlier on, but just for the people that weren't in the chat room then, I'm going to go through it now. If you're travelling by train, the nearest station will be Southall Station. The station itself is going to be just maybe 4 or 5 minutes walk from there. If you take a right out of the station, turn right at the lights into Park Avenue, then turn left onto Villiers Road and then right again onto Boyd Avenue, you're right there. If you're travelling by bus, the 105 and the E5 coming from Cranford and Havelock Estate, the 120, 195, the 482 and the H32 if you're coming from Hayes, Heston or Cranford, 95, 105, 195 and E5 if you're coming from Ealing Hospital and Greenford, the 120 to the 482 and the H32 coming from the opposite end if you're coming from Northolt. If you're travelling by car and you're driving down from the north via the M25 exit at junction 15, join the A312, that will bring you right into the area. If you're travelling from the south or west via M25 exit at junction 16, join the M40 and that will then turn into the A40 and that will bring you straight in there. If you're travelling from central London and East London, head for and join the A40 towards the A4020. I put all of that information in the description. We really want to encourage all of you, if you're within proximity or you're able to come down to London for the day, we want to encourage you all to come and celebrate the completion of 8 weeks and 53 dates. We've raised awareness about the Global Eye. Everyone's supported in so many ways. We'd obviously like you to all celebrate with us. Obviously, more information about that is also in the description. I put the links for how to donate in the description. I've got John Smith Global Eye's channel in there, Jason and the DISBURY, Chris UK, Flat Earth Pilgrim, Terry, John Thor, Dave Manel, Ruben and Robin's channel. All of those are in the description box. Another little bit of information to go through as well. Let's get it up. Sorry guys, my laptop's working a little bit slow. We are looking to do a live link from the event. We're going to stream the whole event live on YouTube. There's probably going to be a couple of streams for the event on YouTube. We're also going to be, in fact, I'll kind of talk you through it a little bit now, the parameters of what's going to happen on this Saturday. So Trinity 4, Dave Manel, he's going to be giving a talk. Robin will also be giving a talk. Harry will also be giving a talk. We'll have other testimonies from other people that know they're not on a spinning ball. We will also have a live international link. Also a link with No One's Flower, Nora. She's having a meetup in Ireland. Paul on the plane's going to be there, so we're going to have a live link from that as well. There's going to be a Q&A session with the press. You're all going to have an opportunity to put your 2 cents worth in. Then afterwards, everyone can go to the pub and have a conversation in public about it. It's going to be a good few hours of flat earth fullness, wholeness, however you want to call it. So we want to encourage every single person that knows they're not on a spinning ball to either come in person or come by joining the live link and watching the stream. Chat room, I want to thank you all for rolling through with me. Today was a long one. Bristol was a brilliant day. Loads of interactions happened. I had a crazy amount of clips to play, but there was over 10 hours of content to choose those clips from. So I was really spoilt for choice with regards to clips to play for you guys. Sorry, yeah, that was my serious face. I was reading all the information, so that was my little concentrated face. So there we go. I'm smiling. Sorry about that. Boo Ranch, thanks so much for tuning in. DRLA, massive love to you, my darling. Thanks for tuning in. Lou, hello, darling. Thanks for still being here with us. Ricardo, thanks for tuning in, my darling. Tommy Rogers, thank you very much for being here. Talking a little bit quietly because the whole of my house is awake and I've just been playing those clips at like full volume. So Angel Raven 444, thanks so much for tuning in. Just going up the list, making sure I don't miss anyone. John Thor, thanks so much for being here, my darling. And just making sure I don't miss anyone. Flat Phrase 68, thanks so much for being here with us. Wade 57, thank you so much for tuning in. Flat Earth Still Water, thanks so much for being here. Making sure I don't miss anybody. Pay attention. Did say Ricardo already, right? It's getting a bit late even for me. What is the time? It's like 3:15 in the morning. Oh wow, 3:15 in the morning. Amanda Effie as well, sweetheart. Thanks so much for being here with us. And to you all, I was on a little later than expected today. I really did want to come on a lot earlier. I knew I had a lot of clips to play. We're approaching the last few days now before we get to the finish line. It's on Saturday. I'm a little bit down about finishing. I wish it could just go on 365 days a year. There's been a massive amount of effort from people within the team behind the scenes, organising things, aiding, abetting, with, you know, time management. Everyone's had so many things they've had to deal with. So I just want to give a massive shout out. Everyone knows who they are. Thanks so much for everything that you're doing. And to all of the people that so far have come out to the tour and given donations, given their time, shown support, shown solidarity. It's been incredibly overwhelming for all of us. But I personally want to thank you all for doing it. You know, this is starting a massive wave of awareness with this truth. You know, people are looking into it now, and I think a lot's to be said for that. This is a people's tour, and we want as much of you to be as involved as possible. So all I can do is appreciate everything that you've done. It's now 3:15 in the morning. Unless anyone has any questions in the chat room or anything you want me to talk about, I'm going to start wrapping it up for this evening. The guys are going to be out in Bath tomorrow. So if you do want to watch the live link, I strongly suggest you hit the bells on either Robin, Harry's or Jason's channel. And yeah, no, thank you all for being here with me as well. I've really enjoyed watching these clips. I was able to watch some of Jason's and some of Harry's, but I wasn't able to watch all of those interactions live today when they were streaming. So I got caught away with some of them sometimes. I was watching them so much, I went right past the marker of the annotation I had. But that just shows how compelling it is, right? It's like way past my bedtime and I'm sat there like... So... Massive hugs to you all. The City, thanks so much for being here with us, my darling. Michael Arouk, thanks for being here, sweetheart. Roxanne, please read this to all the people on the chat. I challenge everybody who is able to match or give what they can tomorrow, as I will be sending my contributions to the cause. It may not be enough. Mwah. Thank you so much to the RLA. Did you hear that, everyone? He's challenging everyone to match his contribution or beat it. Massive love to you, my darling. Listen, the tour needs all the help it can get. It's in the last few days. We've managed 8 weeks, almost 50 locations. We're almost at the finishing line. We've come this far together. We've just got a few more days to go. Even if it's just the price of a coffee or a beer or a water at the shop, like, please donate anything you can, because together we're going to get this task done. You can already see the amount of awareness this has caused in this country. Most people that I've been speaking to have either seen it, caught a glimpse of it, or they're talking about it. So I think we've definitely achieved raising the awareness that we want. We've just got a few more days to go to get to the finish line. So please, anything you can do to help the tour, it desperately needs your help. Massive love to you all for tuning in and rolling with me till 3:20 in the morning. I've got no business being up at these times. Wow. Listen, all the mods in the chat room, John Thor, thanks so much for doing everything you have this evening. And to everybody that's tuned in, I really appreciate you being here. I'm going to do my best to be in the chat rooms tomorrow when the guys go live. And I'm going to attempt my best to go on earlier tomorrow night if I possibly can. I can imagine there's going to be a lot of content to go through from Bath as well, especially if they'd have a good link like they did today. So I'm going to say good night to you all. Thank you all so much for being here. And I'll see you tomorrow evening, all right? Take care.